Hello. Okay, I'm streaming. I just felt like streaming. I'm full of caffeine, which I shouldn't have drunk right before bed, but I drunk it, so I'm up for now. Felt like trying the insanity mode of this game now since I unlocked it. I just want to see how crazy it is. um, I beat it already though, of course, but yeah, I'm curious. I might have to this. I might turn insanity mode off if it's crazy as I've heard. Jesus, they said you might need actual items that need to be unlocked to even do insanity mode, and I want to test that out just to make sure that's actually accurate. You know, I'm a seasoned gamer. I think I can probably handle it, but I'll probably be shown. I'll probably be shown correctly that no, they were right. I don't I'm gonna need to unlock some shit. But anyway, I'm just talking about random shit until I go to bed. Well, not really random shit, just the world. Hence the title. I used this title on the last stream I did. I didn't. I don't think I kept the VOD up though. No, I don't think I did. I didn't like the volume on that. I didn't. I removed that VOD. Like the volume was really off on my side. Like, oh my god, it sounds terrible. I wouldn't want to listen to this. Like, I usually listen to my streams at work, like for background noise. But like that one, I did not want to listen to. I mean, I was talking about some the topics. I wanted to, I like listening to the topics and re-referencing the stuff I'm talking about. But that's not one of the ones I'd like to keep. I was talking about some relevant and good topics. But I just didn't like the audio. It doesn't work if the audio sucks. To me, anyway. I do kind of use these as like a journal and for like um, a record keeping type of thing. So if I want to go re-reference something, yeah, I'd rather it would actually had, sound good. But I'm going to listen to something as well since we've already done the story of this game. We don't really need to listen to it more. I mean, there's nothing new here. It's just a hard mode. So I'm going to listen to some real world um, discussion in the background because I want to comment on it, the shit that's going on. I think it's pretty poignant. Um, I got a vent. I use these streams to vent, so it's good to have like something in the background to reference though if I'm gonna vent. So, instead of just I don't do like the perfect job of describing things, so that's why I'll usually have something in the background to listen to if I want to talk about it. So I'm gonna play this right quick. Oh, we don't need that music. Turn that down a little bit. Where does it start? I hope it's not too loud. Probably okay for the stream.
Mark Carney of Canada announced sanctions
Yeah.
against Iran for having the audacity of defending themselves. So let me get this straight. Canada is sanctioning the country that was invaded, but not United States and Israel. You know this.
Yeah, there's a reason for that. Because Canada is they are part of the Anglosphere, the Five Eyes setup. This is what I was talking about. I said Canada is always going to back up the US in any sort of geopolitical situation because they are part of the Five Eyes Anglosphere. All right. Any sort of public spat they're having is of no relevance. Like they had that one that temporary public spat about tariffs, but that's just performative. They still are just subservient to the Anglosphere apparatus, the white supremacist Anglosphere Five Eyes apparatus. Five Eyes is a thing where basically all of the English speaking British originated countries are collaborating with each other intelligence wise, but not just with gathering intelligence. They're just straight up working together. All right, they work together for the same white supremacist white colonial agenda, white settler colonial agenda. They all basically invaded and settled in countries of foreign origin and committed genocide against all of the indigenous in those lands. The British came to the U.S. and did that, and then some of the other British spread up to the north to Canada with some Frenchmen, and they also did the same thing. Also, the French did come to the U.S. and they helped, they collabed, they actually collabed with each other during the Revolutionary War. That's how they beat the British. Is the U.S. teamed up with France and Spain to beat them. They don't mention that a lot though. Um, then they went to Australia, killed all the indigenous there, or killed a great number of them, and they did the same in New Zealand. They killed a bunch of people in New Zealand. So that's why they're called the Five Eyes. Those are the five countries of British origin, or just straight up Britain, and they all collab with each other. They all have each other's back. New Zealand is probably the weakest link. They're not really asked to do as much, but I'm pretty sure they'll realize where their allegiances really are. Um, once shit really hits the fan, they will abandon all sort of pretense of diplomacy with the non-Anglo states, such as like in Asia. They have a lot of diplomacy with a lot of Asian countries because they are in that region. But that could you know they could turn on those at any moment because they're part of the Five Eyes apparatus. And if the Five Eyes want them to stop that, they probably will. And if they want to use New Zealand as like some fucking intelligence gathering site for these Pacific countries, these Asian Pacific countries that they want to, you know, go to war with pretty soon, then they probably will assist them. So yeah, Canada is not surprising. I was saying like Canada would do that. They will do that. They're going to sanction whoever the U.S. wants. So they decided to sanction Iran. The people who are doing self defense because they're not white. They're going to choose whatever is good for white colonials, white, especially the white Anglo countries. So if the U.S. wants them to sanction Iran, they're going to do it. It don't matter if the U.S. tariff the shit out of Canada. They don't give a fuck. And it doesn't matter that they even made a deal with China to buy EVs. They still said they don't want to align with China, and they're gonna assist the U.S. in um you know confronting China, basically. So they're not, they're not really like committed to diplomacy with China at all, just because they got EVs. People thought that was going to be the case. No, they just made a deal to sell EVs there, and that's it. Let's play the rest of this. Yeah, fuck Canada. Oh yeah, I was talking about the vote for the UN where they voted to condemn chattel slavery as the greatest, and the transatlantic slave trade as the greatest um, crime against humanity. And I got it. I was a bit right, but I forgot some other countries also abstained. I thought it was just Ukraine, and then the three other countries just straight up voted to say no. Um, Slavery was great and it wasn't a crime against humanity. And those countries, yeah, the three countries that did say that was the U.S., Israel, and Argentina. Okay, so I don't want to hear anybody telling me I need to fucking cape for Israel as a black man when that's what the fuck they did. Israel voted to say, yeah, Israel. They voted to say that, yeah, slavery was great for us black folks. It was fine. So why the fuck do they expect me to cape for them at this point? I mean, it's already bad enough that they're committing genocide. That's the worst of it. And then they wonder why us black folks aren't defending Israel, and then they go and do that shit too, on top of the genocide. Okay, well, of course, yeah, of course we don't side with you. You agree with slavery. You agree with um like human rights abusing policies. You agree with that. You agree with apartheid. You were. I mean, it makes sense that you're okay with slavery. Um, you did defend apartheid South Africa when that was a thing. Israel did defend them. They were on their side. They assisted them. They helped them with a bunch of fucked up, um, uh, basically eugenicist type of war crimes. Basically, they were trying to wipe out black folks. They were like trading notes on like how to sterilize black folks because they did that themselves. And then you go remember, yeah, Israel did that as well in Israel. I mean, they did that to the Ethiopians who were there because they outnumbered the white settlers who were coming in. Right, there was more, Ethiopians there because they're that's their region. All right, historically, Ethiopians have passed through that area and settled in that area, and like Semitic languages, Amharic, they speak Amharic. That's their native language. Like it's not the native language of the people who are coming to settle there. They don't speak Amharic. They speak fake Hebrew. It's a European constructed version of Hebrew that wasn't even spoken amongst the community. It was just spoken by rabbis. And it doesn't. It's not even like a legitimate Semitic language. It's not Semitic in any way. It's European, completely, really trying to fake the funk of Semitic language. But no, the real Semitic speakers have always been Ethiopians. Their native language is still Amharic, and that's what a lot of the old scriptures are written in. So yeah, it makes sense that they would be the original, say, cultivators of those religions to begin with. The religions we call Abrahamic Judaism, Christianity, um, Islam as well. Yeah, it was cultivated in those areas where they would be, where Ethiopians would be. Ethiopia also, like, before the Europeans came to Ethiopia and carved up Ethiopia, carved up a big part of Africa. Um, those borders weren't created by actually they weren't created by African nationals. They were created by like European invaders. So what we call Ethiopia today used to stretch all the way up to fucking Europe practically. It wasn't excuse me. It wasn't just the territory we consider Ethiopia today. So that's why I say like Ethiopia practically touches Israel, and this I mean that's especially true when you consider the territory Ethiopia used to actually cover. And when you think about that, yeah, Ethiopia, it makes a lot of sense that a lot of Ethiopians were in what we call Israel today when they started settling over there in fucking 1917. That's when they started. The British, yeah, the British also like took over that land after the Ottoman Empire fell and said, yeah, okay, you people who want to call yourselves Jewish, who are actually from Europe and you're not even from this land, you can come and settle here, okay? All right, make this come and do some settler colonial project over here and be a satellite for the Anglosphere in the Middle East, okay? We trust you more than the actual natives here because you're whiter than they are and you're from Europe. So we are, we can we trust Europeans more than brown people. So come over here and slaughter them, basically. That was basically how Israel got set up. It was a gift to, I guess, a Rothschild because it's going off of the the Balfour Declaration. It was dedicated to a Rothschild who said they hated the anti-Semitism going on in Europe, which I guess it was a you know I don't know what they meant by anti-Semitism because they've marred the the word so hard in the modern day. I don't know what they even mean by that anymore. Like, what is it? Because like they call you anti-Semitic today for just criticizing Zionists who are genociding in Palestine. That's not anti-Semitic to me, but that's what they call anti-Semitic today. So I don't know what they were calling anti-Semitic back then. But yeah, that was they wanted to give a gift to one of these fucking Rothschild, which is a bougie family that own industries and mostly banks, but other shit too. They funded a lot of wars as well, or a few wars. A lot of people want to say they funded all of them, but I'm skeptical on that. I'm pretty sure it was a more collaborated effort and not just them funding all the other wars. A grand plutocracy, the not just the Rothschilds alone, if at all. But yeah, the British are evil. Like all they do is promote like genocide in any country they settle in. The whole Anglo-Spear apparatus. So I'm not surprised that Canada, another legacy Anglo-Spear colony, practically, is okay with siding with the U.S. and saying that Iran is in the wrong for doing self-defense. Okay, sure they blew up a bunch of schoolgirls and some schoolboys after that, and then another school. And sure, they blew up their leader, but so what? They should just take it up the ass. Iran should just take that and don't do anything about it, right? We're gonna sanction them. They're like, I don't even know what deals they were doing with fucking Iran to begin with. But I guess I don't know. I gotta let's. But they think a it's going to do anything to Iran. The Strait of Hormuz is still going to be closed. That ain't going to stop the Strait of Hormuz from being closed. But let's listen to the rest of this. We've heard this story anyway, so we don't need to listen to that cutscene. But 1 second. I'm trying to. My mouse is stuck. 1 moment. It won't let me until this cutscene. I'll just skip it. We don't need to watch it anyway. Okay, now I can go back. For some reason, the cutscene robs my mouse. I don't know. I guess it's just my settings.
Countries who started this war, this is just another example of the united Epstein class that completely infest the governments of the West. The Epstein class in Canada doesn't even flinch after the United States and Israel, their close allies, bomb a school in Iran, murdering 150 school children. So according to the Western rules,
like what I pointed out,
you can murder a bunch of children. But God forbid the people who had their children murdered ever fights back or resist. Canada is the same country.
No, you're not allowed. If you're not white, you're not allowed. Okay. And he mentioned rules-based order. Well, rules-based order does not mean what we think it means. It doesn't mean actual rules and, like abiding by something like, the Geneva Convention, which is ideally what people are thinking of. You're abiding by the Geneva Convention, But no, what rules-based order means when the West says it is they mean white-based order. That's what they mean by rules-based order. White-based order. If it's white, then it's all right. You're brown, you can't do anything. You can't use self-defense. Right? We gotta sanction you or kill you.
As Israel carried out a genocide in Gaza and a brutal invasion of their neighbors in Lebanon. So no sanctions on Israel for genocide, but you put sanctions on Iran for defending themselves? Now do you guys see why I despise the West? Remember, Mark Carney is the same guy who pretended to...
And I forgot, yes, this does apply to Russia because they don't consider Russia white. I pointed this out before. They taught out the rules-based order bullshit against Russia all the time, and they treat them as if they were like one of the brown and black countries because they literally do not consider Russians to be white, and I think it's always been the case ever since Russia, back when it was the Soviet Union, fought the Nazis. Okay, the white supremacists. They turned their back on capitalism and white supremacy. And ergo, Russia lost its white status to the West at that point. They don't consider them white. They consider them Asiatic Mongol hordes. So yeah, the whole white-based order crap, it has the same application for Russia too, right? They don't consider them white. Sorry, they don't consider them white anymore. Anyway. Play the rest of this.
Concerned over the Western rules-based order due to his Trump derangement. Meanwhile, here he is helping Donald Trump carry out a genocide and a stabilizing war. Iran is fighting a just war of self-defense against a bunch of genocidal monsters. That's why there's even a bunch of Americans who are rooting for Iran to win.
Yeah, I sure am. I'm rooting for them to win.
What's poppin'? My friends, my family, welcome back. You guys know I'm always gonna laugh. We got one hell of a week for you guys tonight. We got Rathbone, the Nick and Rathbone show. That's back on Wednesday. But for now, I have so much to cover. I have to dive right into it. I had to go. You guys know how Monday shows are. So much to discuss. Sit back.
Turn them out a little bit. Hopefully, it's still audible.
Because I'm gonna explain to you guys. And I feel like I've been vindicated so much over the last few months.
Me too. Everything I pointed out.
That's why I was laughing at
prior days and years has been vindicated.
And I was making a ton of liberals upset because I was explaining how I found it hilarious that Donald Trump was threatening Canada. Remember that? Remember how liberals like, oh my God, this is another example of how Donald Trump is a tyrant.
Oh yeah, I forgot to point out the countries that abstained. Apparently, all the countries in the EU abstained in regard to like voting to condemn slavery as the greatest crime against humanity. Europe decided to like, oh yeah, we're gonna abstain. Also, Japan abstained, and I was hoping at least Spain or Ireland, but then I realized like part of Ireland is not good. I guess Northern Ireland is the good part. So I guess the whole of it wouldn't turn the whole of Ireland to voting to say yes. But then you got Spain, that kind of surprised me. But then I realized Spain only recently started turning a leaf, so that's not going to make the whole country all of a sudden overnight just vote to not be racist anymore. But yeah, otherwise Spain is making they're going down a good direction compared to where they were. But yeah, they also abstained. So yeah, fuck the EU basically. Those are the all of those white countries don't have our back. That's why I don't give a fuck about ever going to Europe. The only places I wanted to go was Madrid and Northern Ireland. Um, yeah, fuck Europe, fuck Germany, fuck France, fuck Italy, fuck Britain, fuck. Oh yeah, Britain of course, because they also voted to abstain as well. They're not technically part of Europe anymore, but yeah, they also abstained. So fuck them too. Um, yeah, fuck all them countries. Fuck the Scandinavian countries. Fuck Poland. Poland's been pissing me off for the longest. They've been pissing me right the fuck off. Fuck Finland. They, oh my god, they, what a disappointment they are. God damn. Just knowing their history, man, they are such a fucking disappointment. Yeah, they all voted against, and they want us to hate Russia. Russia didn't abstain. They voted to condemn the fucking slavery as crime against humanity. Like all of the European, I don't want to hear shit from these Euro trash countries. All these fucking racist ass white people telling us what countries we need to hate when they don't even have our back. They don't have us black folks back. They can suck a dick. See, I'm looking this up right quick. Voted on condemning slavery. Greatest crime against humanity. And I knew Japan would abstain because fuck them. They have a history of slavery and war crimes and fucked up human experiments because they were inspired by the West to do that shit in the 1800s when they made contact. Um, okay. Now I don't want to hear United States explanation for why they're Nazis. We know why they voted against it. Fuck them. Our country's literally ran by Nazis. That's why. Okay, one second, one second. I gotta read it. Where is it at? Where is it at? Where is it at? No, not this video. UN votes. I just gotta look this up right quick and then I'll stop stalling. Votes in favor 123 countries. Yeah, largely by African countries too, of, which is makes a lot of sense. Where is it at? Let me just see the results. I think I know where to go. One second. Google is racist, so using them as a search engine is always going to turn up going down the wrong rabbit hole. You know what really pissed me off too? Like, Hassan wants to look like he's progressive and all this, but he doesn't. There's certain topics he don't even touch on, like this fucking UN vote, and he just looks like he is like he's really like he's very white Western chauvinist, and that explains why he'll like ignore votes like this, especially votes that'll make the countries he likes look bad. Some of the countries he likes look bad when we go and observe shit like that. Like France, he went there on one of his trips. And of course, they abstained. Every country in the EU abstained, and they're still leeching off of like black people in African countries to this day, all their resources. France is still getting like fucking reparations from Haiti, and not even just Haiti, other African countries. The Sahel, well, not the Sahel states anymore. They stopped those payments after the current revolution. Algeria too, actually. Okay, here they are. I found the fucking results. Okay. Where is it? Where is it? Yeah, Russia voted to condemn slavery. How the fuck they gonna tell me Russia's bad? We should hate Russia. All right. I'm looking at all these other cocksucker countries who want to tell us who the bad people are. All of them are white too. Yeah, Albania voted to abstain. Canada voted to abstain. Andorra voted to abstain. Armenia voted to abstain. Australia voted to abstain. Austria voted to. Yeah, fuck all them countries. I don't want to go to any of them. Fuck Canada. People ask me why don't you want to go to Canada to escape the U.S.? Well, I wonder why. And then we're listening to this story right now. They're trying to sanction Iran for some fuck shit. They can suck dick. Croatia voted to abstain. Cyprus voted to abstain. Czech Republic voted to abstain. Bosnia voted to abstain. Belgium voted to. Well, we know fucking Belgium would. Look at their history with fucking Leopold, King Leopold in the second. That motherfucker's a butcher. They love that guy though over there. Bulgaria voted to abstain. Fuck Bulgaria. Fuck Cambodia. They're the worst part of the Southeast Asia. I'd rather be in Vietnam or Laos. Cambodia been sucking ass. All right. Since the Khmer Rouge. Who else voted? Denmark. Fuck Denmark. They voted to abstain. Estonia voted to abstain. Fiji voted to abstain. Fuck them. Fucking sellout. That's a sellout fucking country. Sellout Polynesian country. France, of course, they're racist and they're still leeching off of African countries to this day. Georgia, well, all of EU is really, but France especially. Georgia voted to abstain. Fuck Georgia. Germany voted to abstain. Like, I don't even give a fuck about Russia intervening in Georgia. They wanted to get on Russia for intervening in Georgia when there was some NATO fuck shit going on there. Like, I especially don't feel bad about Russia intervening in Georgia during that one time now. Fuck Georgia. Fuck Germany. They voted to abstain. And they're voting. Oh, yeah. Oh, there's another bullshit thing going on with Germany, or at least one of their shithill companies and corporations. Yeah, Volkswagen wants to go make missiles for Israel now to go fight Iran. Yeah, fuck Germany. Fuck all their industries. I don't even feel bad about the U.S. gutting their industries to begin with. And all they got left is shitty ass Volkswagen. Yeah, I hope they gut more of your industries and bleed you dry, Germany. Greece voted to abstain. Yeah, fuck Greece. Hungary voted to abstain, of course. Iceland voted to abstain. So, yeah, they suck. Ireland voted to abstain, sadly. I do like Northern Ireland, though. Italy voted to abstain, of course, of course. I mean, they are places being ran by, Mussolini's granddaughter or whatever the fuck. So I expected that. Japan voted to abstain because, yeah, like what I said, they have a history of slavery. Latvia voted to abstain. Liechtenstein. Fuck, I can't even pronounce this stupid ass name. I don't even care. They don't deserve my respect in pronouncing this properly. They voted to abstain. Lithuania voted to abstain. Luxembourg voted to abstain. Malta voted to abstain. Of course, they're another. I thought they were just part of Italy, but I guess they're independent. Fuck Malta though. And the Knights of Malta. Fuck Monaco. Fuck Montenegro. Fuck the Netherlands. I already pointed out that they abstain. They suck. Fuck New Zealand. They're another part of the Anglosphere, and this is why they abstain. This is what I'm talking about. New Zealand is still part of the Anglosphere, and they're still going to be doing fuck shit like this. So yeah, of course they abstain. I don't know what that is. It's cut off. It's just asterisks after the MAC. I don't know what North Mac is. Norway voted to abstain. Yeah, I think I did acknowledge that on my prior stream. Norway did abstain. So fuck them. I don't want to go to Norway anyway. It's just shithole country. Nothing but ice. Fuck Oman. I'm glad Oman's gotten fucked. They voted to abstain. Oman can stay fucked. Iran's doing a good job. Hope Oman suffers. Pakistan, well, no, they actually voted in favor. And that's why China supports them, I guess. They're kind of decent. Palau, I don't even know this country, but it voted to abstain, so fuck that country. Paraguay, yeah, they voted to abstain. Fuck them. They're not that much better than Argentina, which is why I didn't care. Like they're another country I said people should probably change their location to get cheaper prices, because they also got a Nazi problem like Argentina. So I don't care about fucking their economy. You're gonna use a VPN to fuck these Nazis and their economy. I don't care. Poland, yeah, they abstain like I said earlier. Fuck them. Shithole country, traitor ass country, ungrateful ass country. Since the 20th century, well, even before that, but their behavior since the 20th century and following into the 21st century has been a big disappointment. Portugal, yeah, of course, they abstained. They suck. They're just a discount Spain anyway. That's why I didn't really care about going to Portugal. The only reason to go to any of those countries is, if you want a slightly more affordable place to move to than the U.S. with some better like social entitlements, but that's about it. Not a good country, and the direction is trending towards more austerity soon with the way things are going. Republic of, I don't know what that is. The whole word's cut off, so I don't know. Republic of something. Republic of moles. Romania, of course. Fuck them. Fuck them and their vampires. It's a land of vampires, so of course they voted to abstain. They're just some fucking pale parasites. They like the idea of, sucking the blood of black folks, so not surprising. These motherfuckers ate mummies and shit. So yeah, not surprising. They're just bloodsuckers all the way, and the Epstein class are bloodsuckers all the way. So that's that's what we're dealing with in this world. San Marino voted to abstain. Fuck them. Slovakia voted to abstain. Fuck them. Slovenia voted to abstain. Fuck them. Spain voted to abstain. Okay, yeah, which is disappointing because I did kind of cape for Spain because of what they're currently doing in regard to the Iran situation is actually good, but that's more of a recent effort. It's not necessarily the effort of the main person in charge either. This was a collaborated effort of like the Congress there, I believe. But yeah, the actual leader there, they don't really like. It seems they say he goes to Mar-a-Lago to suck Trump's dick too much, which I guess is true. Sweden, yeah, they abstain, and I said fuck Sweden as well. Switzerland, I'm not surprised Switzerland or Sweden did abstain because these are like historic Nazi collaborator countries. So yeah, not surprised. Uh, Ukraine abstain. And I already shit on them for that. Don't tell me to ever support Ukraine again. God damn it. These motherfuckers want to send drones to go help fight Iranians who are just defending themselves. The Ukraine are hypocrites. And they're liars anyway. Like any country that the US is backing, I don't know why anybody thinks is like we should be trusting or supporting in any way. If the US is backing them, there's pretty clear sign that they're the bad guys. They're not good. All right? We shouldn't be supporting them. They're telling us they want to be a new Israel. What does that fucking tell you? Does that tell you that they want to do good things? No. And they're sending weapons to go fight Iranians. What the fuck is that? In the United Kingdom, of course. Right? Russia voted in favor. China voted in favor to condemn slavery. So yeah, don't ever tell me to not support China or Russia or to like them. All right? They've been holding it down. North Korea voted in favor. All right? Don't ever tell me to hate Kim Jong-un. Suck a dick. The DPRK. Oh, that's a different country actually. I don't think the DPRK is actually on here now that I think about it. No, they're not on here. I saw North and I think, well, they don't refer to themselves as North, so that's not North Korea. But if North Korea was on here, they would, because they've always been in support of black liberation. That's why I fucks with Kim Jong-un and the Kim family. And his daughter seems like she's going to be the next one in line to lead the country. Which, I mean, she's got a good father and a good tutor, so I trust her. By the time she's old enough, anyway. I think she's only 16 now. So not ready to lead yet. But yeah, the Kim family over there is pretty popular because, you know, they are founders of the DPRK. So yeah, people like to have them in charge because they are founders. It's a founder family. And they typically have, you know, the people's interest in mind, and they're not just trying to, you know, do Epstein shit. So yeah, of course. Anyway, I'm gonna go back to the game. And we're gonna listen to more of this as well.
This is not how we speak to our allies. Donald Trump is now threatening Canada. Like, even like the Bernie, like if you listen to Bernie Sanders, he loved this line. Like the NATO left. The NATO left.
Yeah,
they love this line. That one of the reasons why Trump is a tyrant.
The NATO
going after our allies in Canada and Greenland.
Fuck them.
Fuck Canada and Greenland.
Yeah.
Canada's
at this point.
51st state.
At this point. Yeah. Fuck them.
Canada, they are tools.
By the way, actually, let me look if Canada even. What did they vote on? Did they even vote on this shit? Let me see what they voted on the fucking UN resolution. Are they on here, Greenland? No, Greenland's not even on this thing, so I guess they didn't they didn't vote, or they weren't allowed to vote on this. I don't know. Yeah, yeah. All the countries I support basically supported this resolution. Vietnam supported it. Shit. Yemen supported it. Venezuela supported it. Uruguay supported it. Well, they're good. They are better than those other motherfuckers, Paraguay and shitty Argentina. Fuck them. Argentina straight up voted to say no. Fuck them Negroes. That's why I don't fuck with Argentina. And I say, yeah, go ahead and change your VPN and screw their entire economy. Take advantage of the cheap prices all fucking day for Cyber Monday or whatever. I don't give a fuck. Fuck that country. Fuck that motherfucking Ayn Rand worshipping douche nozzle with the weird hair, who might be related to Netanyahu. People say he's probably like an illegitimate half brother to Netanyahu, and they kind of look alike. So I wouldn't be surprised if that was actually true. It would not be very surprising.
States imperial.
That's why he sucks off Israel so hard. Millet, that's his name. Millet, and then you got Millet-Kowski. People have theorized that Millet is just short for Millet-Kowski, which is the family name, of Netanyahu. His real name, his real family name. They're Polish. They're not fucking Semitic. They're from Poland. So that disappointment comes from that disappointing country, basically.
And I found it hilarious. A bunch of Western chauvinist white boys, all these white neocons.
Yeah, I found a lot of them.
How dare you, Trump, talk to Canada like that?
How dare you?
The way that Donald Trump talked to Canada and Europe is exactly how every single United States president talks to leaders in Africa.
True. Very true.
Our African brothers and sisters.
They talk to black and brown countries like that all the time. They don't have nothing to say then.
Countries in the global south. The countries they bankrupt with IMF loans.
Yeah.
So the United States started treating a white country.
Mm-hmm.
Or I should say one of the fellow Western countries. The same way they treat the global south. And everyone start melting down.
Uh-huh. You're supposed to treat us like we're white. Not like them darkies. You got to treat us with respect.
Because you have Iran, and I will explain this in my hotspot video. They are fighting a war against people who launched this attack first.
Exactly.
Who pulled out of agreements that allegedly led to this war. Obviously, there's a lot of different legitimate reasons why. Like the pressure by Israel. The stated objective is to get rid of Iran's nuclear program. So Trump pulls out the nuclear program, which leads to this escalation. So Iran was like, bro, we have a religious fatwa on nuclear weapons. So we're 100% okay with not nuking or having a nuke if you guys just remove sanctions and we can have normal relationships. And then under Joe Biden, he continued the strategy of hardcore pressure on Iran, refusing to use diplomacy to calm down the geopolitical situation. That's why he always cracks me up with shit like, so you guys should vote for Kamala. Bro, we will be in the same position, but I think you guys know that.
Yeah, because the roadmap was always going to be the same, no matter which puppet was there.
The situation that we're in with Iran has been a bipartisan effort that happened under multiple administrations. Because Anthony Blinken made it clear that he had no plans on changing Donald Trump's strategy in Iran. They was demanding to completely get rid of all enrichment. This is under the Biden administration. I know because I covered this. Unlike the dipshit Bernie left, who never touched this issue with a 12-foot pole. Bernie Sanders and the progressives like, we need to get back in the Iran deal. We need to get back in the Iran deal.
Mm-hmm.
Then Biden got an
They don't. They're not serious.
Bernie Sanders.
Bernie Sanders is a Zionist. He says that.
He will continue the policy that that Donald Trump had. I mean,
When somebody asked him about like, should there be equality amongst the equality for the Palestinians, he was all like, "Oh, I don't like that idea. Because that would compromise Israel's sovereignty, and I think Israel deserves the right to exist." And I'm like, what the fuck? What the fuck kind of answer is that, Bernie? You're not a socialist. You're a straight up Zionist. You are a pro-white settler colonial apartheid ethno-statist when you say shit like that. That's what he is. Fuck Bernie. Like, that just really exposed some. I don't know why anybody fucks with Bernie anymore. Hassan still fucks with him, and that just exposes him as a fraud even more. Like, this is why people just don't like you leftist people. Hassan, he plays stupid and wonders why like people who are left will criticize him, and that shit is why. Hassan, you ignore that. You ignore that shit. You try to gaslight people who point it out to you.
And we refuse to negotiate and get back in a nuclear deal unless Iran accept all the sanctions, while at the same time
he just regurgitates the lies about the babies' heads being beheaded and rapes that happened on October 7th. He regurgitates that lie about Palestinians and Hamas doing that. So he's just manufacturing consent for fucking Zionist, racist, ethno-statist. He's a charlatan. Fuck Bernie. Oh yeah, he apparently has family in Israel, so yeah. His family just probably, they grew up being indoctrinated to be that way. Like being prejudiced toward Palestinians is just in their blood, in their veins, because they were brought up to think that way. Because they lived there.
And their civilian enrichment program. So Donald Trump is carrying on this.
I had to look at how many years they've been there, but apparently they live there now, or he says he has family there. I don't know.
So strategy, at the same time, ending even their civilian enrichment program.
Yeah, because Iran didn't care about enriching uranium for like weapons or nothing, because it was against it's considered haram. The Ayatollah considered it haram, and it's just creating something so destructive is a sinful in his eyes. It's not Islam, It's a crime against Islam. That's why they didn't want to make like nukes. I think they should make nukes now. I think the son is probably on board with probably considering that at this point. The successor Ayatollah, who's the son of the prior Ayatollah. I'm pretty sure he's considering it at this point. And yeah, if they do that, if they actually make nukes, they definitely won't be fucked with like they are now. North Korea was right.
So Donald Trump is carrying on this failed strategy because his plan was to get rid of this nuclear deal. And apparently, Donald Trump dropped sanctions on Iran. So you understand how stupid that is of the West and how malicious they are? Because if you have plans to drop sanctions on Iran, why didn't you drop the sanctions in order to guarantee the fact that they wouldn't get a nuclear weapon if that's your stated objective? But we all know that's not their stated objective.
Because he's panicking. That's why.
These are things that the NATO left and the Democratic Party and the progressives would repeat as if it's a fact. That there's any other reason. Like if you listen to, and you guys know I listen to a ton. If you listen,
the reason he's dropping the sanctions is because the Iranians closed the Strait of Hormuz, which people were warning him they would do. And once they close the Strait of Hormuz, nobody can stop them from. Nobody can open it. Nobody can stop them from closing the Strait of Hormuz. This has been known for decades. This is why presidents prior to Trump were wise enough to not even dare go as far as they've gone now, or else that would happen. It's going to be a quagmire trying to get the Strait of Hormuz open after Iran does it. This was always the threat, and the presidents before knew this. But they got some fucking jokers working in the Trump administration. And apparently they just, like, Trump only has been getting highlight reels. So he's just been, like, really gassed up by highlight reels on TikTok that his administration's been showing him to make them think that they're successful. They're winning. And he's also gassed up from, I guess, the Maduro success. He successfully kidnapped Maduro. And, you know, Venezuela basically started doing what he wanted. Selling oil to Israel and shit. Apparently. After that succeeded. And, you know, Venezuela isn't fighting back against the U.S. So, yeah. And then he managed to get the blockade. So, yeah. But now apparently they've breached the blockade. Russia sent a tanker to Cuba, and I think China, too, recently. And some other supplies on top of oil. Because they can get oil. Like, China and Russia are fine with oil. They're able to go through the Strait of Hormuz, and Russia has its own oil that it can just bring over. But yeah, they're not really want for oil. And they don't have the problems that the rest of the world has in the Strait of Hormuz. The Strait of Hormuz is open to them, not to the U.S. Not to a lot of Western countries who want to support the U.S. for sure either. Not to a lot of Gulf states that want to support the U.S. Why am I here? We don't need any of this. I don't even have any money. So this is here if I want it. Okay. Why is it here though? There's no, like, I don't have any money at this point. Oh, there's money right there. So I can use that. Was this always here? I guess so. What weapon do we want to start with? Ghost Grudge, huh? This is a new one. I don't think I ever had this one. We'll start with the shotgun. It's pretty good. Has good spread. I need more bullets, though. Can I buy any more bullets? Too late. Too late. Dumbass. Let me go back. It's probably not accessible anymore. Oh, yeah, thank God. I need... Damn it! Alright, whatever. But yeah. Shut up. Fuck off me. Idiot. She's... Are you gonna turn into one of those fucking Crimson Heads? Oh, she does. They turn into Crimson Heads here. Is that what Insanity Mode is? I guess that's part of Insanity Mode. I didn't think they'd be turning into Crimson Heads already. But here they are. Bitch. Oh, shit. Oh shit, we need to sharpen like a mofo. I should probably just run by her. She has way too much health. Fucking quick turn, okay. Oh my god. She one-shot me. What the fuck? Yeah, they turn into Crimson Heads, so that's pretty insane. They start off as Crimson Heads. I think I'm gonna need a better weapon. Okay, we bought that. Let's buy some ammo. Body armor's too expensive. Shotgun shells are pretty cheap. I'm gonna buy all of them. Oh, there's no more. They won't let me buy anymore. Okay. Let's go. But yeah,
These propaganda networks, including the progressives. Well, when I say that, I mean like more of the Bernie Sanders people. Like you guys just has a
yeah, Bernie Sanders is not trustworthy anymore.
The liberal media, they were like, why did the United States start this war? Damn, they started to help Israel start to advance the greater Israel project. At any talking point about nuclear weapons, Ayatollahs, protests, has nothing to do with that. Iran is the #1 geopolitical threat to Zionism in the region.
Yeah,
that was allied and supported multiple resistance movements against
Zionism. Oh, sorry.
So it's so annoying, and I have a deranged segment I'm gonna show you guys. I've been focusing more on the MSNBC Democrat propaganda because the Fox News shit is crazy, but bro, MSNBC is right next to them, and you guys gonna be your jaw gonna hit the floor when I show you guys this, like the deranged lies being told on quote unquote resistance liberal Democrat network, and then people think that things would be different if a Democrat was in charge.
No, because they're both owned by the same people.
Creating greater Israel. They make all this other bullshit like it's about nuclear weapons. It was about nuclear weapons, and you guys was okay with lifting sanctions. Why did you lift sanctions in order to get a nuclear deal in the first place? These are things they never explained to you. So despite the fact that this war was manufactured, that talks was never legit, that the United States attacked Iran,
they lift sanctions in hopes that Iran will open the Strait of Hormuz.
That is sanctioning not the United States for.
I forgot to explain this. Yeah, they're doing this because they're panicking because they really fucked up. They didn't think Iran would close the Strait of Hormuz for some dumbass reason. They thought it would just go as smoothly as Venezuela, with getting Maduro out of there. But it didn't, and Iran decided to fight back and do shit like close the Strait of Hormuz. And the U.S. was not expecting them to do that. They're that stupid. Even though people were warning them that's what they would do, they didn't think they'd do it. They sure as fuck did, though. They thought I guess they thought it was just going to be like 2025 again. And, you know, Iran will back down. Like, after they've already been fooled once, they're just going to back down. Like, you're dreaming. Oops. He's the one to thank for all the excitement. Oh, more money. Okay, good. Out of my fucking way. This guy's gonna grab me as soon as I fucking turn around and get off. Bitch. It's his thriller! Out of my face, bitch. The fuck is this? Yeah, insanity mode is pretty insane. I don't think I'm ready for it. We're not ready for insanity mode, it seems. I need way more health. So we're just gonna turn this shit back to normal. Oh, god damn, dude. I'm gonna try one more time, but yeah. So the reason like they lifted the sanctions is so like some oil can get through. And they hope that Iran will allow some oil to go to like some, you know, the allies of the U.S. and, you know, U.S. has their own supply of oil, so they don't necessarily need Strait of Hormuz oil, although it does affect oil prices over here still. And part of our oil does come from there, but we do have oil from other sources if we, you know, if we can't get any from Hormuz. But it's still not good for, like, strategically. It's not good for markets, and you know. So he's trying to not. Trump is trying to make up for his fuck up. That's why he took the sanctions off. Okay, we got through there without dying. Let's see how well we do here in the real game. I want to see how far I can get through this insanity mode. But 1 second. But yeah, the reason they removed the sanctions is because they're panicking and they're trying to smooth things over. Try to make it look like it's not so bad, guys, and he's trying to look like, oh, we're doing this because Iran's begging us to do it. So I'm doing them a favor, when it's really the other way around. Trump or at least his administration is trying to unfuck the mistake they made, and that's why they lifted the sanctions on Iran. But now Canada wants to make sanctions for some dumbass reason. I guess the U.S. told them to do that while they decided to lift sanctions. I don't know what they think that's going to do to Iran, though. As if Iran gives a fuck about Canada.
Executing over 160 school children. They're not sanctioning Israel for invading Lebanon and completely destroying their medical infrastructure. You guys know that Israel holds more Lebanese land than Russia captured in Ukraine? Like, they are engaged.
Yeah, because Russia's agenda was never to capture land to begin with. And the only land they have was voted for. It's not like they forced fucking an annexation. No, there was a referendum that happened. So yeah, only the only lands that are joining Russia are the lands that want to. So yeah, there's not a big chunk of land going over there compared to what Israel's done to Lebanon and much less Palestine and the West Bank.
Straight up land theft.
Oh, 1 second. I'll be right back. I went to go get something to drink because my mouth's dry. One moment. I need to mute too right quick. Just for a second. Hello? Okay. Now I'm back. All right.
And the Western corporate media and the West as a whole is
One
completely
moment.
ignoring that. No sanctions for Israel for that. No sanctions for Israel for enabling the violent settlers.
No, they never sanctioned
to
Israel.
enrich
Israel's never
Palestinians
gets
in the
sanctioned.
West Bank.
Israel never gets
You
sanctions.
guys see why I despise the Western rules-based order, and I despise. And the reason why I criticize the left because these are people. I criticize the left more than anyone else because the United States left, they have more credibility than me. And it's crazy to me.
Well, they're not even left. That's why you criticize them. They're not even leftists. They are glorified liberals co-opting what leftism even is. Like these people who call themselves left in the U.S. are still, they'll still profess themselves as capitalists, and you can't even like begin with left to call yourself a leftist when you identify as capitalists or want to maintain capitalism. Like it's just a a difference of opinion or some dumb shit, as opposed to what the fuck it actually is. So yeah, they're not leftists. They only like the, leftism. They use leftism as like a fucking fashion sense. That's about it. They don't really internalize anything that's actually leftist. They hate any sort of actually existing form of communism or socialism. Just like this motherfucker, what's his name? Michael Harrington, the founder of the DSA. He hated any example of actually existing communism. He criticized and hated. And this is how he actually described it too, I believe. He said, yeah, any actual existing communism I hate. I don't like it. But I'm a socialist, guys. I'm a communist, guys. That's why I call this the Democratic Socialists of America. Because I'm totally a socialist, y'all. Even though I hate every real world attempt at it. Shut the fuck up. Fraud ass organization. That's why I hate the DSA. They have the same fucking flaws as the founder today. That's all the DSA is. And this is why they're okay working with a capitalist party, which the Democrat, like the DNC, describes themselves. They are self-identified as capitalist. This is how Nancy Pelosi described the party. This is how Chuck Schumer described the party. Yet the DSA wants to play stupid. And fucking Hassan wants to play stupid. This is the Vanguard Party, guys. This is what Lenin was talking about. A proletariat party. That's the DNC. A party dedicated to capitalism. No, that's not what a fucking Vanguard Party is. That's not what a proletariat party is. That's a bourgeois capitalist party, self-professed. So this is not what Lenin meant. Fuck Hassan. Hassan is compromised. That's why he says that shit.
People think that someone like Ro Khanna, Hassan Piker, Matt Dusk, these NATO leftists are on our side when they side with this fascist NATO regime who implements a disgusting rules-based order based on racism, Jewish supremacy, and colonialism.
It's white supremacy.
Like Joram Mamdani and AOC, they have the nerve to criticize the democracy of Cuba.
Yeah, they shit on Cuba, but it is explicitly white supremacy because they fucking hate the Orthodox Jews in Israel because there's Orthodox Jews over who are over there, and enough of them have like spoken out against the crimes that Israel has done. And there's Orthodox Jews, of course, in New York. They hate them as well. They have demonstrations all the time. So yeah, these people hate Orthodox Jews, so they're not really Jewish, are they? Or faith wise, or neither ethnicity either. I would say they're not even ethnically what you would call Hebrew or Israelites at all. They're not Semitic. They're not even Semitic. You can't be anti-Semitic to white people. That's stupid. We need to just get that idea out of here. These are like Europeans. They're not from that area. They're not Semitic. They don't speak Semitic language. Just stop calling it anti-Semitic. They're fucking white. Fucking Europeans. They speak European. They have European fucking names. Like Stein and Milikowski. They just changed their name to make themselves sound more Semitic. Okay? Bibi Netanyahu's a made up fucking name. That's not the family name.
Never forgive Zoran Mamdani for that, ever. As the West is starving Cuba, as they are imposing blockades on Cuba, you have Zoran Mamdani that's condemning Cuba.
Yeah. Fuck Zoran Mamdani.
They're condemning Russia. Meanwhile, Russia, China, all these countries they're condemning, they're providing actual, real aid to Cuba.
They aid Cuba. They voted in favor to condemn slavery.
And democratic socialists.
Not your country, Zoran.
The reason why I can make these criticisms of anyone on the political spectrum, from the Democratic Party and the Republican Party, but it's the liberal Zionist left that has all the credibility. Like
in this country, yeah.
Shit left. They compare their numbers to mine. They have way more clout than I do. So of course I'm gonna look at them and destroy their politics, at least through my community, so people know what's up. Because these are the same people who repeat every single CIA propaganda attack, like Dr. Cornel West.
Yeah, fuck him. I can't believe I ever defended Cornel West
Iranian Mossad protests,
after the dumb shit he said.
Condemning authoritarianism in Venezuela.
He said we needed to China, get on board with those Mossad false protesters, those false flag protesters who are Mossad.
It's the pinnacle of human creation. When Western democracy is built on genocide, oppression, and violent hypocrisy. So not only do we have Canada that is technically supporting the United States imperialism, by putting on sanctions on Iran while they're under attack. Not only that, they're putting sanctions on Iranian weapon procurement networks. So this is them coordinating with the United States. Despite what Mark Carney or anyone else will say, they will say we oppose this rules-based order because he had Trump derangement syndrome. That way, say they will say we are not. You have Keir Starmer, all these Europeans like when we're not going to get involved in this war. They're trying to win favor at home. Anyway, we don't want to get involved in this war. Meanwhile, they are providing technical support.
Yeah, they're just doing optics for the public, and then. But legislatively, they're still supporting the West or the U.S. on their effort.
You have Anthony Blinken.
This is why you don't listen to the rhetoric. You just pay attention to material results.
Genocidal monsters. They are going on book tours right now.
Mm-hmm.
There are judges at the ICC who can't even. They've been completely debanked, and their lives have been ruined. Because they've been sanctioned by the United States.
Daring to go after Netanyahu or say he needs to be arrested. Yeah.
But despite all these facts, despite the fact they ruined Francisca Albanese's life, despite all that, you have the NATO left, the DSA left, the Democratic Socialist left.
Mm-hmm.
They prefer the Western rules-based order.
Yeah, the white rules-based order. Exactly.
They praise the democracy of the UK as they're arresting doctors. And then if you don't go along,
it's just white supremacy.
They will say, "Oh, you're a tanky. Why you got to be on blacklisted?" They're like, "You got to make sure you blacklist tanky. You can't listen to the tankies, man. That will ruin your career."
Tanky means revolutionary who opposes white supremacy.
I'd rather attack it.
Opposes capitalism. You're a tanky. If you don't think that reformism and doing
this new
nonviolent parades is the way, then you're a tanky.
Effort to say the Democratic Party featuring Crystal Ball, Voss, the pedophile.
Yeah, that guy is a pedophile.
The sex pest.
Oh, so we're calling him a sex pest now. I mean, he did used to frequent a bunch of brothels. I guess that's why.
Is to support Ukraine, right? I'm getting a little bit ahead of myself. I'm gonna get to that here very soon. But that's why I made this tweet. This is why, if anyone confused about my coverage, has it been clear why I take the geopolitical positions that I do? Is it clear now why anti-imperialists and communists unapologetically support the axis of resistance, and we don't do the Trotskyite bullshit where we nitpick their imperfections?
Yeah.
Especially as people who live in the belly of the beast, your taxpayer money goes to bombing children, and you're gonna nitpick at Russia? You're gonna support NATO over Russia?
Yeah. Why would you listen to anything they say about Russia at this point, or believe anything?
This is why in a million
they're
years,
illegitimate.
You would never convince me to hate the Russians.
Nope. Russia holding it down. They got our back. They even they vote on condemning rape,
of the black community,
condemning slave
protests. The same way they're defending Iran right now.
Yeah.
The same way they defended the ethnic Russia.
Yeah, Russia is much better than these Western countries on race issues, at least geopolitically.
The black community, anti-racist civil rights propaganda and support.
They do deals with African nations. They do fair trade. They don't saddle them with debt like the U.S. and these other Western colonial countries to enslave their economy and to steal their resources.
The same way that our Russian brothers and sisters shared anti-racist civil rights propaganda and support.
And especially during the Soviet Union, they had a bunch of civil rights support during the Soviet Union days. So way better than the U.S. Trying to say it's the land of the free and justice. Bullshit.
Of the black community during the civil rights protests. The same way they're defending Iran right now.
Yep.
The same way they defended the ethnic Russians in Ukraine against a Banderite assault on their country. That the BBC and CNN, they used to report on it. You guys remember how Ro Khanna used to report on the Nazis in Ukraine?
I remember.
Pre-2020.
I remember.
The left supports them.
Now they got amnesia.
Russia.
Now they got amnesia.
Solidarity and broke the Cuban blockade in a historic act of resistance. Meanwhile, the dipshit NATO left wants you to hate Putin as he stands in solidarity with the Cuban people, as the American left don't do shit.
Man, once Putin dies, what excuse are they going to use? Like if somebody else who's just doing the same, like if Russia's just doing the same thing once Putin's gone, what are they going to use as an excuse? You're going to say Putin's ghost is the problem? Like, fuck out of here.
I explain all the time. Like, there are a lot of people who got American minds who had to feel guilty because they admire other cultures, because that's how deeply right wing the United States is. That's how deeply racist it is. Where people will judge you for if you say you appreciate.
It's like I said before. The reason they hate Russia so much is precisely what I said already. Like, Russia rejected their white identity. I mean, they didn't adopt this white supremacist identity. All right, that's why they hate Russia so much. They fought the Nazis. They rejected capitalism, and they still hate them to this day for that. Even though the country, it's not a socialist country anymore. Like it's just a, liberal market economy, but it's more socialist than the U.S. in a lot of the things that they do. They have more socialist entitlements compared to the U.S. and some other parts of the West. To be honest, they're better on in that regard. But the West hates them anyway. Even though they're not even socialists anymore. Really, they're still too socialist for them. They're still not really white to them. They can't trust them. They think they're gonna go back to communism, and that they're still not gonna be white enough for them to, because they keep supporting these global South countries. Russia still supports global South countries and treats them like equals. They don't really Russia, even back when during the Romanov days, they weren't really big on invading other countries to take resources or invading global South. They don't really have a history of that. At best, the Romanovs invaded neighbors in Siberia, and that's about it. They adapted some nearby territories that became part of the Russian Empire eventually, but otherwise, that's local shit. They didn't really go to the global South to steal resources, and especially the Soviet Union, they didn't really do that. They made deals with the global South once the Soviets took over. And Russia's basically doing the same thing the Soviets are doing, even though they're not socialists anymore. Oh, I gotta skip this to use my mouse. Okay. Well, this is gonna be tricky.
Culture, Chinese culture. If you admire the victories of other countries and how the working class was able to advance, people look at people. That's how deeply right wing the United States is. That's how deeply racist it is. Where people will judge you for if you say you appreciate Russian culture, Chinese culture.
Yeah, they're not white though. They're not white. You can't appreciate them.
Crazy in the United States.
Yeah.
Admiring other cultures is as human as it gets. We're supposed to learn, mimic, and copy from.
They're not white, and they don't speak English.
The Stone Ages, copying the advancements of other civilizations. So that's what I do. I never tell you guys I think Russia and China, these places are perfect, but I want the working class in the United States to get the victories that they achieved. Russia, they don't have no medical bankruptcy. They got paid maternity leave. They got stuff that the United States failed to accomplish in 40 years.
They have health care.
To say that Putin is a tyrant and an authoritarian.
They got socialized health care.
Putin is doing more than you, Bernie.
Yeah, Bernie, where are you on that socialized health care you campaigned on at one point? Where the fuck's that? Justice Democrats, AOC. They ain't moved one fucking inch on that. They've been talking about that for over a decade. Ain't done shit to move the needle on that. You think they would have during COVID? And that's what I was like. This is why I was calling out a bunch of bullshit going on with COVID. It's like it's not really a serious event. That they're not really trying to, get moving on that effort. You think this would be the perfect opportunity to socialize healthcare if we have a real pandemic going on? But I guess it's not real because they're not really being serious about doing shit that would, alleviate a fucking a supposed pandemic. You think they'd, get it in their head? We need to socialize things more to tackle this shit. No, not even the fucking fake leftist, such as Bernie, even wants to talk about that during COVID. AOC either. What the fuck's that? It says I can climb on this. What the fuck? How did I do this before? This is stupid. I just need to move it. Okay, now that bitch is gonna come back. Fuck. Let go. Damn it. There she is. It's time to go. Where you at, Big Back? There you are. Can't get me from under here. She's got them T-Rex legs. She's just like the fucking Jurassic Park. Yeah, she's a pretty cool, like, persistent enemy. Like, she's kind of like, she's got a kind of a iconic sort of a design to her, or what do you call it? Aura to her, yeah. Like Tyrant and Nemesis before her. Yeah, she earned her place right alongside them. She's pretty good.
You fought for 40 years to get Medicare for all.
Yeah, where is it?
Providing single payer
He didn't really fight. That's why we don't have it.
But then Bernie was like,
just...
you know that Putin is the tyrant. He doesn't care about his own people. Fuck you.
Yeah.
You're a tyrant.
More than you.
People who support starving the Cubans.
Yeah.
But my point is,
because they're authoritarian and dictators.
And I'm very clear that as someone who understands the historic battle that Russians had with the Nazi West and just the Russian people themselves, like you guys see, Zoya is a Russian. She's a beautiful person. Every single Russian I met in my life, beautiful people.
She's also Ukrainian.
With a Russian Olympic wrestler who was a fucking monster. He was like fucking 19. Came over from Russia to wrestle from some university. This motherfucker was a monster, bro.
Cool.
Remember, I was like a striker back then. I was learning jiu-jitsu. I was like 22, 23. There was this Russian wrestler. This motherfucker wasn't even that buff. He was like 180, but he was the strongest motherfucker you will ever touch. Like you guys, I'm more of a striker. My grappling is extremely better now, like 10 plus years of training. But back then, bro, I grappled that motherfucker hip toss. Hip toss. I'm like, dude, this motherfucker is strong as shit. These are the people I was grappling with back in the day. But if you talk to this guy, you around this guy, he had this super thick Russian accent, barely speak English. One of the nicest fucking dudes I ever met in my life. The same with Zoya's love, Zoya's life. Every single Russian I met in my life has been amazing fucking people. And then I look at the Jewish supremacists. I look at the Mark Levins. I look at the Lindsey Grahams, and I'm like, Bernie, you prefer a Lindsey Graham over a Putin? Over the Russian people?
Lindsey Graham, oh my god, dude. That motherfucker?
But I will concede that maybe not everyone has the same life experience or same perspective that I do regarding my admirations of other cultures and other people. So if
let go.
Personally fancy the Russian culture and people like I do, that's okay. But what is not okay and what is not forgivable is for you to side with the genocidal Nazis in NATO who passively support the genocide in Gaza, the Israeli invasions, that support the Western hegemon starving Cuba. You guys technically support Western democracy over the Russians? You supporting NATO over the Russians, Rokana? Corey Bush? Ilhan Omar, saw some people in the chat. They be like, what's the NATO left? These motherfuckers who keep getting elected. Zoran Mamdani, he's a NATO leftist.
Yeah. They're all Trojans. These are the fake democratic socialists that they keep peddling at us because they know they can't win on like third way Democrat rhetoric like back in the 90s. Because people were riding off of Reaganomics and they were brainwashed by that because there was the illusion that Reagan made the 80s boom when actually they were just riding off of the surplus of the 70s, and they didn't realize that Reaganomics was actually squandering all that surplus. They thought it was due to Reagan when he was just squandering the surplus of the prior decade and privatizing everything, and then people started to see the results of that a bit later than when it was actually going on. And then, people started to notice, it ain't hitting as hard as it was back during the 80s once the 90s came around. 90s weren't that hot, and then a new industry came on, or a new bubble came online, which was the dot-com bubble, which artificially gave the illusion of things are good again. But that was also a bubble. And people were not really feeling the effects of the still steadily declining economy and the privatization, the loss of industries, basically. There was more consolidation for corporations and they grew bigger. But it wasn't like it was before. It was easier to just earn money off of a single, make a living and raise a family off of one type of job, and not even a professional type of job. That was disappearing by the 2000s. But I'll be right back. And you know why the blockade got softened? Is because Trump is feeling really desperate after since the Strait of Hormuz got closed. They're really desperate to smooth things over and not lick up the biggest fuck ups on the planet. That's why they're doing these concessions, like lifting sanctions on Iran, softening the blockade, so Russia and China are able to get oil tankers to Cuba. Please help us, guys. Please help us unfuck the problem we created. Well, we need to open up the Strait of Hormuz. Please talk to Iran. And they're not going to do anything to stop Iran for what they're doing. They think what Iran's doing is great. Russia and China are helping them. But Trump is desperate. He's doing whatever he can to try to smooth things over in his administration.
They all are. I'm saying it because you have to be a progressive Democrat. People are like, man, I really like the shit to leave. She's a NATO leftist. They all are NATO leftists.
Yeah. They all suck.
If you support NATO and the genocidal West over Russia, you can go fuck yourself. That's a deranged position. So this is what I mentioned before. Putin is currently sending material support for Cuba as the United States, in coordination with NATO countries, starve them. Putin is also standing in support of Iran against the genocidal assault by the United States, Israel, and the entire NATO alliance. Sincerely, fuck the NATO left for signing for the genocidal monsters over our Russian brothers and sisters who are resisting the genocidal Epstein regime.
Mm-hmm.
Because this is the victories that, even the New York Times admitting it, and liberals are going through a crisis. Like, what? They're like, what? Putin is supporting Cuba? What? I think so many liberals
he's been doing that.
Crisis, asking themselves questions like, why the United States is starving these countries, why Russia is supporting them. They ask themselves these questions like, why are Africans in the diaspora in support of Putin? There's logic.
Like, these people who ask these questions, they're like geopolitically illiterate. Like, they don't know shit about the world. They don't know shit about Russia. All they know is the fiction of Russia and Putin from shit that the West says and dumbass shit like Russiagate, which is just like a wag the dog to make people just hate one of our rivals for a fake reason, and to blame our rigged elections on some foreign agent instead of the U.S. itself. The U.S. rigs its own elections, or even Israel. We're not able to consider that Israel has more influence into our elections than Russia or anything. We got to be looking over our shoulder for Russia. Don't think nothing about AIPAC or any of that though. That's fake news. Okay, yeah. Excuse me. That's what it is. People just got told a bunch of fiction about Russia. So that's why they hate Russia and Putin they don't even know why they hate them. What's so bad about Putin compared to anyone over here? He locked up his opponents. They do that over here. And what opponents are we talking about? You mean some CIA front? What, Navalny? That's that guy who was backed by the CIA? Fuck him. He deserved to rot in jail. Evil ass fuck. Yeah, that dude was racist. Like, if anybody knew anything about Navalny, they wouldn't support him. They didn't know shit about Navalny other than what the news over here said. And fucking Bernie defended Navalny. So this is how I was suspecting Bernie was like compromised a while ago, because he was doing shit like that even before the dumb shit he's been saying about Israel. I support Navalny. I can't believe it. I can't believe Putin's a fucking tyrant. Opposing him, that fucking CIA asset that we set up over there. How dare he? How dare he call out his racism? He hates Muslims. Shut up, Putin. Don't point that out. I hate Muslims too. That's why I like Navalny. That's why I'm a Zionist. That's the real reason why he liked Navalny. Because he's a fucking racist who also hated Muslims. He called them cockroaches. So yeah, Bernie was all over that guy. He loved him. He wanted to slob on that knob. Piece of shit. Anyway, let's play more of this.
People who are like new to my channel, they probably see me on Rathbone, they probably see me on Jimmy Dore, they see my initial position. Like,
yeah,
what?
I don't fuck with Jimmy Dore anymore.
What? You like the Russians?
He goes on Jimmy Dore because Jimmy Dore doesn't stop him whenever he's talking, and I understand it. Like, you know, it's not like if he was going on Piers Morgan would be interrupting him and saying everything he's saying is wrong. At least Jimmy Dore won't do that to him when he goes on his show, but I don't like Jimmy Dore. Because fuck him. Jimmy Dore sold out too much for my taste. But I understand why he goes on Jimmy Dore's show. To get his message out. And Jimmy's not really gonna speak. He's not really gonna, counter anything he says or speak ill of what he says. He'll just let him say what he wants. Which is, effective. I mean, which is useful, You're trying to get the word out.
And then liberals, the most racist people alive, they're like, don't you know that Russia brainwashed all these dumb Africans? They're like, don't you know that Russia probably, the Russians and the Asians and China,
yeah, they want to say we're too dumb.
Than these dumb Negroes. Don't you know
yeah. Our black nations are just too stupid. They got fooled by Putin. It's not because Putin and Russia basically just give us better fucking trade deals. They don't saddle us with debt and enslave us and steal our resources. Like, ain't no time fucking Russia invaded an African nation and held it hostage or made an apartheid state out of it like fucking the Europeans. That's never happened. So I don't want to hear this dumb fear mongering about Russia doing deals with Africa. Oh yeah, we're better off getting fucked by the IMF in our countries apparently, instead of like better deals with Russia and China. Shit, I'd rather just get rid of IMF and just do deals with Russia and China and have more of a multipolar setup. Fuck the West. The West has never helped Africa. Fuck their aid, even their fucking U.S. aid. People say we needed, like, African nations needed so bad. They never did. No, they're better off without them because, like, the U.S. used that U.S. aid as a cover for, like, CIA operations and black ops. And I don't trust any, like, sort of aid that the U.S. gives. Who knows what they did to the fucking food? Fucking put sterilization shit in there for all we know. Whatever, any other kind of poison. Like like Africans are better off just having, you know, autonomy over their own crops. They'll be better off. Autonomy over their own food. They'll be better off. Like they're like a lot of the African nations have been saddled with only being able to buy groceries from American corporations, which is part of the problem. On top of just getting their food from the U.S. and to begin with, when they have resources and, you know, food sources in Africa, they don't need the West for that. They just need the West to release their, you know, their control over their fucking food and their land. That's the problem. They want to act like the Africans are just too stupid. They're not. So we got to control their food, and we got to be the ones that give it to them. Like, fuck off. It's a racist argument, and people who support this narrative, oh, we need to do the U.S. aid because the Africans are just too stupid. Like, no, they just need autonomy over their fucking resources and their surplus. They got plenty of shit. They just need to be in control of it. Why are these white Western corporations controlling their visas for one thing, in their fucking in their banks? That's fucked up.
Liberal, legitimate explanation that is deeply seated in racism. Ask my friend David Hudayan.
Like South Africa, you know, there's no apartheid there anymore, but they still got a problem where like a bunch of white people still control their economy. So they didn't fix a lot of these systemic problems of South Africa back during apartheid. You know, they got rid of the apartheid, but this, you know, the systemic system still suffers from post apartheid, yeah, apartheid days, basically. The inequality of the apartheid. Sadly, they've not resolved all that.
My hotspot brother, who reports out the West Africa Weekly, founded the West Africa Weekly, they smear him as a Russian puppet all the time because he's in line with the Russian youth. I mean, sorry, he's in line with the African youth who love Russia. They seen Russia fighting against the imperial bastards who colonized Africa and stole their resources. So what do you guys think Cuba is going to think of the Russians from now on? Do you guys think the global majority is not looking at what's happening in Cuba? They see Putin standing with the Cuban people.
Yeah.
Even though Venezuela was ultimately toppled by the West.
Yeah.
They saw the relations that Russia had with Venezuela. They see how Russia, and once again, my African brothers and sisters as well, they see them as the part of the axis of resistance alongside China. This is another example.
Because they are.
I'm not sure where this reporter is based out of. Oh, well, she's in D.C. I thought she was. I don't know why I think my son knows. But look, I think this is another tweet that explains the situation.
The only issue with Russia is that they're not socialists. They become socialist again.
And delivered 100,000 tons of crude to Cuba after 3 months of blockade imposed by Washington on the island. It's not that hard to write a decent headline or report these things.
Fucking butterfingers.
Unless you're a servile media or political lack of the United States. And as someone who keeps my eyes on the ground and listen to what the NATO left is saying. You gotta know that Sam Cedar he's not tweeting about this.
Fuck Sam Cedar. He's a bitch.
Who went to fight the Russians? Like, we gotta fight the Russians. He said that a few years ago.
That was dumb. He was drunk off of that Russiagate shit.
Is Bernie Sanders and AOC gonna acknowledge this at all? Of course not. Are they gonna talk about what China's doing? China, right to my breaking the Cuban siege, has done more to oppose United States imperialism and has done more for the Cuban people than the DSA has done in 40 years.
Yeah.
DSA on these goddamn field trips.
DSA are not designed to do anything.
Yeah, look, we stand with Cuba, condemn Russia. Meanwhile, Russia and China are giving material, real support.
Yeah, condemn Russia, who are helping them.
And condemning Cuba, the Cuban government.
Guess who's been trading with Cuba for decades? It's been Russia. What the fuck? Oh, the people who've been helping Cuba, fuck them. Why? What, because they're fighting those Nazis you want to defend over there in Eastern Europe? Fuck you. You're stupid. They're supported by the U.S. That should tell you something. You shouldn't be supporting them.
They like to hide that part. When you know how the Trotskyists and everyone who bashed Russia and Putin, they like, you know Putin's a tyrant, don't you know Putin's a dictator? Motherfucker, the majority of the Russian people support Putin. 75%.
I know.
Who the fuck are you?
Yeah.
That's them directly dissing the Russian people and robbing them of their agency. I tried to explain this to my Trotskyist friends. You guys will never, in a million years, show me an example when I did this. You guys will never see me support or pop up a leader that is not supported by their people. You have the United States Congress that has around a 15 to 18% approval rating. You know, you guys know why I criticize them? You have German politicians who are deeply underwater. Everyone hates Frederick Merz. Keir Starmer is one of the most unpopular. Yeah, this is the acronym.
Yeah, nobody likes that motherfucker. Keir Starmer.
Keir Starmer is one of the most unpopular prime minister in history. Now you guys see why I go after these capitalist dictatorships that don't represent the interests of their people. Meanwhile, China, their government is supported by 80% of their people. 80% of the Russian people support Vladimir Putin. Meanwhile, the dipshit NATO left, think they know more than these people.
Yeah, only 13% of people are in support of Israel. Ergo, you know, only 13 people are in support of what the fuck Donald Trump and his administration are doing right now. So, yeah, there's low approval rate going on over here compared to those two countries.
This in the agency of the Cuban people, and these fucking Democratic socialists and Trotskyite fucks, they think they fucking slick. They're like, well, I stand in solidarity with the working class of that country. Nigga, the working class in Russia stands with Putin, bitch. The working class in China stands with Xi Jinping, and you condemning their agency. I'm not going to do that because as a Marxist, as a communist, I believe in sovereignty.
I don't even understand the hate for Xi Jinping. Like
terminations. Working classes, because I know and I have belief in the potential.
Like I would say, people over here know less about Xi Jinping than they do Putin. Yet they hate him so hard for some reason. How are you gonna hate somebody you don't even know shit about? That don't make any fucking sense to me. I hate this guy over in this other foreign country. I don't know shit about him, but I hate him because these white Western people told me I need to hate him, and I don't have any critical thinking. So I'm going to do it. What for? Why do you hate Xi? What the fuck did he do? Has he invaded any countries? Has he bombed any schools of children? I don't remember. Maybe I missed that. What did he do to gain so much hate? Oh, he serves his people, and he wants to do the Belt and Road Initiative. Oh my God, what a monster. Belt and Road Initiative is so bad, guys. It's only shit that everybody would fucking like. That would make everything pretty much convenient. Like, I don't get it. He's doing shit people want. Like, this is shit we should be doing. Like, wouldn't you want like a fucking high-speed rail that just goes all over the country for it's affordable? Don't you want green energy? So you're not over reliant on this oil issue to begin with the Strait of Hormuz. You got alternatives and options. Don't you want multipolarity and fair trades with other nations? You know, more options in the market, and also affordable, and also you're helping out global South countries. And what's bad about that? Unless you're a racist white person, I don't know. You're racist and white, and you just want white hegemony to be the dominant thing forever. That, I guess that's why you would hate Xi. That's the only thing I can see why you would. I don't know. I noticed some people. Oh yeah, also some people started hating Chinese people because of COVID. I guess that's a dumb reason why they hate Xi. They think Xi's like the guy who did it. He's the king of the Chinese, and so he's the one to blame for COVID, and because COVID comes from Chinese people. All the white racist people in the West told me. I never fell for that narrative because I already knew what the fuck COVID, or what they were calling COVID, was. So that never even worked on me, even a little bit. That claim. There's a reason I never got sick during the entire quote unquote pandemic, because I knew what the fuck was actually going on. A lot of misdiagnosis and a lot of harmful recommendations and protocols. That's what was really the issue. It wasn't the so-called thing they were scaring people with. Well, time to run. She's gonna be coming around that mountain till she comes. Oh, you fucking bitch. Don't touch me. God. Alright. We're gonna get off of this. I'm still awake, so I'm gonna go for like maybe another hour. We're not gonna do this game though. We're gonna play something else. I'm tired of dying. Oh. Insanity mode, like, you don't even get like multiple chances to escape her. You just get one shot at immediately if she grabs you. They don't even give you like hints that she's coming. Like in the normal mode, like the ground is shaking and shit, and the music starts immediately. But in this mode, like, they don't even give you a tell, like with the ground shaking or music or nothing. At least it seemed that way. I don't know. Let's play more of this while I load up another game.
That they know what's best for them and their culture. It's the Trotskyists, with all due respect to a lot of these people I respect, with all domestic policies, but they undermine the agency of the working class in their countries and act like mini imperialists.
They do.
They act like mini imperialists, as if their opinion as an enlightened American. Look at me, I'm an American. I am from America, the land of the free. I am here to tell you, filthy Cubans, that your government is authoritarian. That's Zoran Mamdani.
Yeah.
I'm joking.
Yeah, he did say. He said it about Venezuela as well. Said it about Iran too.
Dr. Cornel West, married to an Iranian diaspora motherfucking traitor.
Yeah.
Scumbag.
Most of them are the ones who aren't even in Iran.
For the people in Iran and Tehran, as they live in the empire? As they not under sanction assault?
They were only allowed to come over if they decided to be like
Assad agents. What Dr. Cornel West
Yeah.
did should never be forgiven. You're not gonna sweep that aside, nigga. You need to make public statements apologizing.
he defended
You need to
Mossad
have,
agents masquerading as
reconciliation.
protesters.
Like, you need to do live streams with anti-war activists and apologize why you're fucking wrong. Because the way these people support Empire talking points and the fact that it's completely invisible to the mainstream left, the Hassan Piker left, it's completely invisible to them. Why do you guys think there's all this narrative about Hassan? There's all this narrative about Hassan Piker right now. There's all these Democrats freaking about Hassan Piker. Why do you guys think that is? That's because they're trying to erase the real communists, the real black radicals, and they try to have the NATO dipshit left like Hassan Piker, who has Matt Dess on and licks his boots.
Yeah, that's really
Matt
weird.
Dess is a fucking Zionist.
Even his audience has called out him having on Matt Doss.
Resistance, and he unapologetically support the band rights in Ukraine, and these are the left that gets promoted in the United States.
He didn't used to.
Not me. What? That's why I'm.
The thing about Hassan is like when this shit was originally popping off in the whole Ukraine issue, he was actually telling the truth about Ukraine and that it's full of Nazis that the U.S. are backing, and that's the reason Russia's doing what it's doing is to because they're trying to push toward the east. He was pointing this out, and then he stopped all of a sudden because I guess his handlers, who were clearly part of the DNC and intelligence, apparently told him to stop telling the truth on that. So he started, toting the party line and, the intelligence official story and disinfo about Ukraine and Russia now. He's been doing that ever since. This is back when, Elden Ring came out. He was telling the truth when Elden Ring originally came out, and then shortly after, started toting the party line, the party lies, I guess I should say, about Ukraine.
To them because I'm not gonna try to join them. Nigga, I could have been joined them. Have them help me boost my subscribers. Nope, I'd rather be adversarial to them. Anyway, this is Bro, it doesn't matter. Like, I don't give a fuck what he says. Like, why you guys keep covering for this motherfucker? He supports NATO politicians. It doesn't matter if he criticizes NATO every once in a while. He's the biggest bootlicker of AOC. Like, whenever I see people in my comment section,
and then he acts like, "Oops, my mistake. I'm sorry, I promoted."
Bro, it doesn't matter what
I'm sorry, I promoted.
If you support these NATO, and for one, I've seen clips of him with
Cat Abrazella.
his narrative. So for one, I question.
Or Graham Cracker. No, he's still trying to push Graham Cracker.
Because I've seen what that does. I covered it a few years when he was like, yeah, he's nodding his head. Not correcting.
Sorry, I promoted John Fetterman. My bad.
Like Bernie Sanders on AOC, and he never grills them on NATO. He talks to these people all the time. So what you mean he's not pro-NATO, my friend? He supports big politicians who support the war against Russia. That's what it means to be pro-NATO. It doesn't matter if you criticize NATO a few times on stream, please. Stop being stupid, my friends. Like, I will never be more popular than Hassan Piker, but I need you guys to wake the fuck up. The idea that he's the face of the left is crazy to me.
He's the face of the Democrats,
I can do is at least stop my community from falling.
which is not really a leftist party, really.
That's why, like, whenever
corporate.
I see people in my comment section saying bullshit about Hassan, it's crazy to me. Yeah, a lot of people like, I put it, I leave it up in the air because I don't watch fucking Hassan Piker. I've seen clips though.
I've watched enough Hassan Piker. I know what he's about. And he's not wrong on what he's saying here anyway.
Let me put out this caveat. Even if he has been critical of the NATO pricing war, which I doubt,
he hasn't.
It does not matter.
He hasn't been anymore.
You guys realize
he was critical in the beginning, but not anymore.
I would never support a Summer Lee, a Rashid Tlaib, a Ro Khanna, an AOC. The fuck you talking about? You mean the fucking Banderites? I'll show you guys this.
The Nazis. That's what they are. Straight up.
I show this all the time.
They're
But
straight up
every time I
Nazis.
see- I'm trying to find it right now. Here it is.
This is what
the Ilhan Omar.
all the news used to point out before the
I tweet this photo
2022.
every once in a while, and it blows people's mind. Like people are like, what? Ilhan supports the Nazi in New. I will see people who have good opinions, like people who I do not like. They will say, yeah,
Nah.
I don't like AOC, but you gotta give it to Ilhan Omar. I'm like, no,
Nah, fuck Ilhan Omar.
Fuck. They be like, don't you, Nick? You gotta agree that shit.
I'm trying to fix the screen right quick. That's what I'm doing. But yeah, Ilhan Omar can fuck herself. People were defending her on that at one thing where somebody like apparently threw liquid on her at some meeting or something, and that looked like it was just a stunt to get people to side with her for some reason. I don't know. She doesn't deserve any other defense, either way, otherwise, because she's part of the problem too. Like what he's saying, she's just another liberal Zionist, and I mean, well, she has kind of criticized Israel, to be honest, and she's kind of defended Palestinians. But at the end of the day, she serves the empire, and she's basically like she's like her role model is fucking Margaret Thatcher. So that should tell you what the problem is with her. All right, she's not a socialist. Her role model is fucking Margaret Thatcher, and then you got. I mean, that's about as bad, if not worse, than what fucking AOC said about Nancy Pelosi. Like, she's a socialist, but she's going around calling avowed and devout capitalist Nancy Pelosi. She said she's a capitalist. The Democrat Party are capitalist. All right, so she's not socialist. But you got AOC calling her mama bear. Like, what the fuck is that? They just expose themselves in these ways, like, very subtly. You just got to pay attention. Not even that subtle. It's pretty blatant to me, but, people still miss it they still miss shit like that for some reason. I don't know. Doesn't make sense. You're not really socialist if you're calling this capitalist woman mama bear. Or if you're, gushing over a Margaret Thatcher. I'm sorry. That's not socialist in any way to me. Either revoke your card.
Even to leave is kind of base, don't you? No, the fuck she's not. Anyone who is not critical of the Banderite Ukrainian regime, I have footage I can show you.
Yeah, that's the problem. Ilhan Omar also defends those Nazis over there.
Sending them to the meat grinder.
Because those Nazis in Ukraine.
Shaking her ass for Nazis.
Yeah. And Rashida Tlaib too.
They support not only
AOC too. AOC, she's always saying Putin's so bad. Okay. You're one of those people who say Cuba's got a bunch of dictators and shit. Like, I don't want to hear anything from you.
Have you ever asked them about all the ethnic Russians that was murdered by Ukraine? Oh shit! I found this clip. I didn't have this plan, but I saw someone post this.
They don't ever want to talk about
but Emma Vigeland is one of the people who support
over 10,000 civilians that were killed over in the Donbass. Even the UN had to acknowledge it. They don't ever want to acknowledge that now.
NATO leftists will ever acknowledge the referendum in the Donbass. Why don't they do that?
Yeah, those countries are. I mean, those territories.
They voted to be part of Russia and they wanted to leave the Ukrainian regime. This is one
See, he pointed it out.
Started their invasion.
Like what I said.
People criticize them for not doing it earlier to save the ethnic Russians.
So somebody's talking.
Being murdered by Nazis. So when people are like, Nick, why you support the Russian military special operation? I don't know. I'm a fucking communist. You know what?
Yeah, I'm a communist.
Last time we cheer on dead Nazis.
That's why.
So as a communist, you know how fucking irritating it is for me
and
see people who claim to be a socialist support the open
and why that's
Banderite Nazis in Ukraine.
And in spite of Russia not being communist and Putin not being communist, that's relevant because the people who really push the issue on the problem that's been going on in the Donbass was the KPRF, which is the Communist Party in Russia. They were really pushing the issue on what was going on there. Like, it's not just something that Putin just decided he wanted to do because he wanted a bigger mansion, which is one of the dumb excuses I heard from Westerners over here. It's stupid. No, actual communists have been pushing the issue on what's been going on in the Donbass for the past 8 years leading up to 2022. And Russia did nothing until 2022 because they couldn't ignore it anymore at that point. They were escalating. Ukraine was talking about joining NATO and getting missiles to fire at Moscow, straight up saying this shit. So yeah, they decided to act. All right, when you're pushing towards our border, and then you're talking about joining NATO and getting missiles from NATO to shoot at us, yeah, we're gonna kind of get involved.
As if Ro Khanna wasn't tweeting about it. As if Ro Khanna wasn't like, hey man, I think we should stop funding the Nazis in Ukraine. It was like one of the first things that, like, I know you guys seen this. I show you guys this stuff all the time. I'm saying this for new viewers. But for the people who believe that I'm a crazy tanky, I'm a crazy Russian propagandist or whatever, nigga, this is what you tweeted, bro. Ever since the Orange Revolution began under President Bush, the U.S. has been complicit in the rehabilitation and spread of neo-Nazis in Ukraine.
Yeah.
Enough is enough.
Even before the Orange Revolution, they've been doing that Operation Aerodynamic for decades.
Then deleted after 200 weeks. Right after
like, Operation Aerodynamic never ended. They want to say it ended at a certain year, but it never did end. They've been continuing it. It's still going on.
This tweet right after the military operation, and then these dipshit NATO leftists, bro, I fight with these people all the time on X. And then they're like, Nick, how can you call the Ukrainians Nazis? Hey Nick, how can you?
I mean, they admit it.
You're not supporting Ukraine.
These soldiers have Nazi insignias. They got Nazi boot camps.
Like, bro, I want to fight you.
They got Nazi camps for children.
I don't want to debate you. I want to fucking fight you. Because the fact that you're going to compare Palestinians, stateless people,
the people that Zelensky does not like and helps Israel against.
Compare Palestinians to Nazis? So let me get into your thick fucking skulls, all you Ukraine, Palestine flag dipshits.
Ukraine wants to be another Israel, they said.
Are a stateless people being genocided by a coordinated Western alliance. Ukraine is a state that embraces fascism, and then they rob the sovereignty of Eastern Ukrainians. You know, the same Eastern Ukrainians who want to be part of Russia, who voted via referendum, and then was murdered.
See, the freezing of the screen doesn't make any sense. I died only because of that.
So, in the Luhansk region,
the Lugansk and
in the overall Donbass,
Lugansk and Donetsk
referendum where they wanted to be part of Russia. You know why? Because a lot of these people came from Soviet culture. The Eastern Ukraine was heavily Russian. Majority of them speak ethnic Russian. Then the Ukrainian government banned the Russian language. They start shelling the Russian.
Yeah, which is a Nazi thing to do. When you ban languages, that's Nazi shit.
In Donbass, children would sit in cellars. Ours would go to school.
Like, banning languages is a Nazi thing. I had to pause just to point that out. This is what the Nazis did. They banned languages. Ukrainian isn't even banned in Russia. They don't ban the Ukrainian language over there. They even let Ukrainians come and join Russia if they don't want to be in the meat grinder. They let them come over and just live there. Like, there's no ban on anything Ukrainian in Russia. The other way around in Ukraine, though. So that should tell you something. Oops, I gotta do this. I can't click yet click over to the screen yet to listen to Moreland. Oh, I didn't try to do that. Ah, this bitch. I hate these guys. I am kind of tired, but still. Now I have time to click over.
Okay, now the claws come out.
You guys see this deadline? You guys see the date 2014?
Stop. Life and destiny
In the Donbass, children will sit in cellars. Ours will go to school. What does he sound like? He sounds like a Zionist, don't he?
Yeah.
Because he is. The Ukraine crisis. Children die in Donetsk shelling. Big shout out to my friend Ripper Go for sharing this. You guys see how no one in the NATO left acknowledged that the fascist Ukrainian regime was waging war on their own people.
Yep.
And then they're like, well, don't you guys, they didn't know that. You gotta stand with the fascist Ukrainians. Don't you know
Why?
the Nazis in Ukraine are just like Palestinians?
Yeah, right. You're geopolitically illiterate when you say shit like that.
Example.
This is what I'm talking about. Examples like that.
Make this bonehead comparison. It's the ethnic Russians in Ukraine, in the Donbass and Luhansk region.
Yeah.
I should say Donetsk. And
Donetsk and Lugansk, yeah.
Let's make up the Donbass. They voted to have their own independent state.
Yeah.
And who was
Separatists.
preventing
Yeah.
that from happening? The people preventing that from happening are the United NATO Alliance that engaged in mass slaughter of the ethnic Russian people
Oh,
in order to prevent their sovereignty. What does that remind
I forgot.
you? What is there another
Israel and
people who are
Nazis.
looking for a state? I don't know, somewhere in the Middle East that is being prevented statehood by a united genocidal Western alliance. What does that remind? Oh no, maybe an alliance being funded by the United States and the UK, something like that. Oh, Palestine. So if you're gonna compare Palestine to Ukraine, the people who are more like the Palestinians are the ethnic Russians who was victimized by their government and being denied statehood. And the Ukrainian government is Israel, because Israel is funded by the West. You guys see how wrong they get this comparison? And what's Russia in this situation? Well, Russia is Iran. Like Russia's Hezbollah. Russia is the axis of resistance.
In that situation, yeah.
Russians in the Donbass that they're being slaughtered by the genocidal NATO alliance, the same way that Iran did. You guys see how easy it is to completely and utterly destroy this narrative? They're repeating by the breaking point left. Like this guy points out how Cal and Crystal, they part of the NATO left. Boss, she's a big NATO leftist. That whole Progressive for Victory rally was a meeting of NATO leftists. You guys saw the clip I released a few days ago. Kat Abaluglia, what her fucking name is.
Yeah.
This lady,
She said we need to
thank
invade
God she
China.
lost.
Fuck her. She sucks.
She's a progressive neocon who wanted to wage never-ending war
Yeah, fuck her.
against the Russian people.
She's dumb. Or she's evil. Really.
That's why I don't fuck with I don't fuck with Cory Bush. I don't fuck with any of them.
Yeah. Cory Bush was a disappointment.
I'm trying to find I think you guys see it. That live stream between where the Progressive Victory was so cringe. Oh, here it is. Well, I think this is oh, that's my clip of it. Alright, let me get back on track. That was oh man. Here's Mick Wallace, which they're technically
Damn
the
it.
first story.
Fucking suck.
It's welcome to see Russia showing some good example of Reed Cuban to the Europeans who are too scared of the U.S. empire
Yeah.
to stand up to human rights. So that's what infuriates me, and that's why I hate.
They're not scared. They're just
Canada
two white
and UK
supremacists.
even
They
more,
don't like brown people.
because
just-
they're putting sanctions.
they
on
only wanna
Iran for
protect their
having
white
the
empire.
audacity
That's all they
to
care about.
Murder their school children. They sanction people who are defending themselves against the Epstein regime. Meanwhile, Europe not only refused to sanction the United States for their insane war crime they're committing against the Cuban people, the active genocide, the immoral blockade. They refuse to show solidarity. They refuse to sanction them. But you know who is, once again, who's helping them? The people that they're fighting. The people that the Europeans are fighting are showing support. Yeah, I think this is what I was looking for earlier. You got the Progressive Victory live stream.
Ah, fuck, dude. We're doing
It
terrible.
was literally just a Democrat Party.
They might be hacking too. I don't know.
It was literally a Democrat Party fundraiser. Remember, it was featuring.
It is late at night.
Let me see if I can find
They
it.
hack
I didn't
a
have
lot
the-
during this hour.
Just for, in case some of you people don't know what I'm talking about. I wonder if I can find a poster. I just did a segment on this. But here it is. Here's the poster. Remember I did a segment critiquing this? And I explained to you people how every single member of this poster is part of the NATO left. Who supports NATO, who supports the war. Like they have Voss on here Voss says NATO is a
Voss?
revolutionary movement. That's how far gone he is.
Good lord. Well,
And when you look
Vosh
at-
is an asset. He's like some FBI pedo
what they
asset.
call a rally, but it was just a Democratic Party fundraiser.
He's like got
They have all these candidates
blackmail
that come
'cause
on,
he's a
all
pedo.
these progressive NATO left candidates.
he got blackmailed to be like a Fed, basically. That's my theory.
Donate to me. Donate to me. Fam, you gotta know that Progressive Victory. Look up number 4. The position of their group that Hassan Piker is in, for all the people who are skeptical about him being part of the NATO left, look at number 4. Foreign policy. Defend Ukraine. Defend Palestine and Ukraine. Defend Ukraine.
No, dude.
That progressive pledge. This is a pro-war rally that Hassan Piker took. That he played a part of it.
Yeah, fuck off, Iron Man. Bitch.
I don't know exactly when this was. So my friend Alex sent me this.
Would be great.
Oh, I think this is. Oh, dude, this is right after October 7th. I just now realized that. I was wondering when this was. I guess I wasn't paying attention. This is on November 1st, 2023. You guys want to see how the progressive voice, like Emma Vigeland, she was the one who was, she was the headliner.
I don't really like her very much.
Headliner of the event, the big name. And I seen it like she was the main DJ. I was checking that. She was the main DJ. Bro, this is them supporting the colonization of Palestine.
Would be great.
Yeah, I mean, when people ask the question, does Israel have the right to exist? Of course it does. Of course.
No,
Israel
it
has the right to
doesn't.
safety.
No, it doesn't, Emma.
Because people live there. That's why they have the right. Because saying that it doesn't.
Yeah,
exist
the
would be
Palestinians
telling
live there.
9 million Israelis that live there.
So they should
The
just
point, though, is that, does it have the
be
right
allowed to
exist
live
in
there,
a
and
certain way
the
that
settlers
is
who
permanent
invaded need to go away.
Where there's 2.4 million people.
So she said she wanted to defend Palestine.
Okay, let me
Meanwhile,
rewind
here
it because
she
I
is
talked
defending
over her a
the-
little bit. What the fuck does she mean they deserve to? Because people live there, yeah. People were living there before Israel, Emma.
Oh, I think this is. Oh, dude, this is.
I think they should get priority over these white settler colonials.
This is on November 1st, 2023. You guys want to see how the progressive voice, like Emma Vigeland, she was the one who was, she was the headliner. She was the headliner of the event, the big name. And I seen it like she was the main DJ. I was checking everyone. She was the main DJ. Bro, this is them supporting the colonization of Palestine.
Would be great.
Yeah, I mean, when people ask the question, does Israel have the right to exist? Of course.
No, it doesn't.
Of course, people in Israel have the right to safety. Of course, because it does exist. Because people live there. That's why they have the right. Because saying that it doesn't exist would mean expelling 9 million Israelis that live there.
Yeah,
the point
good.
is that
So
they have the
fucking
right to
what?
exist in a way that is a permanent apartheid state and an occupation.
Fuck them
where
settler
there's 2.4 million
colonials.
people-
So she said she wanted to defend Palestine. Meanwhile, here she is defending.
They can
the
go back to where they
occupation
came
of
from.
And there are
Fucking
people who believe that
Nazis.
these people are friends of the Palestinians.
The same for the South African Boers. They need to get the. They had to get the fuck out. Fuck them. That was the mistake South Africa, like the current South Africa did by letting those motherfuckers stay here, stay in fucking South Africa, and keep their fucking land that they stole.
Leave the state of Palestine. That makes you a Zionist. No matter what you fucking.
You got rid of apartheid, but you let those fucking Boers
So
keep the shit that they stole.
Well, they already exist. They already committed their Nakba. Come on, we.
You didn't fix the other problem.
Now. She's like, we can't wait to get knocked but
Bitch.
since they're already there,
Shit.
we're already there. What kind of shit is this?
Right. Yeah, I mean, when people ask the question, does Israel have the right to exist? Of course it does. Of course, people in Israel have the right to safety. Of course, like because it does exist.
No,
Because people live
Israel
there.
has no right to exist.
Saying that it doesn't exist would mean expelling
Just like the
what,
Nazi
9 million
Empire.
Israelis live there? No,
Oh,
the point, though, is
the
that
Third
they have
Reich has the right to
in a
exist.
way that is
There's so many
our
people who
country,
live there.
Where there's 2.4 million people.
Well, they need to stop being
have no
Nazis.
rights.
The
Don't have
Zionists
the
need to
right
go
vote,
away.
Don't have rights to drive on certain roads. Only Israelis have that right. Don't have rights over their water supply, over their electricity, over their futures. And I mean, no, Israel does have a right to exist and should exist because it does. But it needs to also include the rights of Palestinians. That is the central question here. And so when people ask that question, oftentimes they're asking, does it have the right to exist in an exclusionary way? And I would say that that is a violation of international law in the way that it has been conducting its business.
Would be great.
Now you guys see why she's allowed to be on CNN?
Yeah,
Why she's allowed to
That's
be on
why.
MSNBC?
says that dumb shit.
These are people who I don't want to ally with. These people are our enemies. We need to convince and we need to wake up their working class audience that they are not on their side. Trust me, many Palestinians already know. They don't need to hear this. But there are many people who are confused about this, and I guess it's my job to wake them up. That's why I'm doing this. And I failed on that point. I failed up until this point. And that's where this clip originated from. I know the quality on this is not the best. This clip came from when she was on CNN and she was like, "Oh yeah, of course I support Ukraine." Like, bro, come on. So you understand by her supporting the Israeli right to exist, she supports the NATO alliance. Like, how can you support the NATO alliance over the axis of resistance like Russia and China fighting these people?
Because they're not white. That's why.
Imagine being in
These are
support
white people.
or
These are white
having
pundits,
more
and some of them are. They have
favor
their family are Zionist.
over
Like Emma Vingley, I don't know, but Sam Cedar for sure. He has Zionist
Russia. Like,
family, so he's like a liberal Zionist. He'll criticize Israel, but only so much. Only so much.
Why does Zoran?
He still believes in the right of Israel to exist,
Why do you guys
like Bernie.
Why you guys only condemn why you guys condemning the enemies?
You know, they did a live stream genocide. They still deserve the right to exist, though. You know.
This
You know,
is the
they
NATO
did a
alliance
bunch of
that they support.
Nakbas, but who
This
cares?
is my friend Rami
No,
Alderman,
really, who cares,
who's been
guys?
silent. She's been arrested.
Those
multiple
brown
times
people
for
don't matter.
genocide. She lives
We only care about white people and
Jewish
white
supremacy
settlers
in the UK.
from
The
Europe.
UK is next to the United States, in Israel, obviously. You would say they're all 1A, 1B, 1C. They are fascist shitholes. The UK, not China, the UK, not Russia, arrest the most people in the world based on what they post on social media.
Yeah,
If you support Palestine Action, if you're a doctor who works in the NHS, and you
fuck.
oppose the genocide of your government, they will ruin your life. They will ruin you financially.
Fuck.
They will suspend you for your job on false pretexts. Like my friend Rame here, she's under constant surveillance by Jewish supremacy. And here she explains how it happens. So as the NATO left, by definition in their support of NATO against Putin, they're in support of these states that are engaged in these fascist actions. Like, bro, I fucking hate the UK.
I'm just gonna capture.
I've covered her story.
Fuck all
before,
this.
but there's been a lot of updates. She's been arrested again. Again, bro. If you guys don't know who Rame Alderman is,
Fuck.
I was about to say, like, she's a prominent Palestinian activist. I'm not saying she's not, but she was a doctor. A Palestinian doctor who saw her people being slaughtered by her own government. She saw her people being slaughtered by her own government and a genocide happening. So she did what any person you think would be decent enough to be a doctor would do. You speak up about children being murdered, and what Keir Starmer and the Labour Party has done to her is unbelievable. Actually, I don't have the arrest video, bro, but it's crazy. They had cops come to her house, and they were like, "We gotta arrest you for what you say on social media again."
Stupid.
And like hearing the cops explain, like, We got arrested for anti-Semitism.
And not even China does that. So I don't know why they keep talking about China like they're so evil.
Like, this is the arrest I'm talking about. Look, Dr. Rame arrested once again.
Is it necessary for?
Look, they put her in
The
fucking
CCP.
cuffs.
Oh my God.
She,
Meanwhile, we're doing this. We're doing
firing
this.
assault rifles. I'm sorry, she's not firing
Shut up,
assault weapons
bitch.
at Israelis. Like, she's not bombing pipelines.
Nope.
You know what I mean? She's not.
I mean, that'd be. I mean, never mind.
She is expressing her voice on social media in support for her people being slaughtered by her government. And you want to know why?
Rightfully so,
They
huh?
put her ass in
She, I mean,
handcuffs.
not rightfully so that they're being slaughtered, but yeah,
Kidnapped her
she's
from her
protesting
home.
that. She's the rightful
So we
excuse
found
to
out
do so.
This is her speaking about the fascism in the UK that you would never hear AOC condemn. You would never hear Bernie Sanders condemn this. You would never hear the NATO left. Where is Ro Khanna calling this out?
Never.
Why isn't AOC tweeting about this nonstop? The fascist harassment of doctors by the UK. Where is the NATO left leadership? I've done multiple content on this story. But once again, I was rejected by the US left. You gotta know that. I don't have the clout that these people do. I don't have the reach that these people do. So I'm standing up and calling out the fascism of the West. Meanwhile, I'm watching people who are Democrat progressive orbiters who never say a goddamn thing about this. Meanwhile, they will let you know every 5 seconds how much they condemn Russia.
Yeah.
What they are doing is
Good job. You condemn the people who do more for the global south than you ever will because you're a racist Nazi. That's all.
I've had
That's the
4
real
arrests
reason.
now, 4 bails. One of them was allegedly me breaching
People who
my
collab
bail.
with the global south more than
Now,
you
when
ever
people
have.
supposedly breach their
DSA,
bail, most of the time,
Fake
they get
ass
charged.
NATO left.
I have not been charged because I have not done anything illegal. But my speech is becoming a
They've
threat
supported
to
Palestine
this
way more than anyone in the
alliance
left,
that the UK
much less.
and Israel
I mean, anyone in the West, much less the
starts
left,
from the lobby,
the Western
the
left.
Israeli lobby, the pro-Zionist Jewish lobby, like the campaign against anti-Semitism, Board of Deputies, etc. And they decide,
Oh,
with
shit.
Mossad or without, that I am sort of like a high priority target, and then they need the green light
Shut
from
up.
the Home Office to say, okay, she is a permissible target. And that then gives the green light to intelligence
Okay.
to say, okay, so we can classify her as potentially extreme, even
Yeah,
though
it's extreme to
I'm
oppose
not.
genocide
But
on your
if they're
people.
working under that hidden framework where they're trying to almost reframe the law because they are not
The same
achieving
gaslighting they've
using
done
the
to
law right
indigenous
now
across
because they cannot charge me.
the
And
globe.
then after the intelligence, then it's the sort of execution by the police. So that goes from sort of intelligence to police, and it went intelligence to Wesley Street.
And you can see UK is one of the countries that abstained from voting to condemn slavery. So of course, this is their
Because when I was in my interview, they had a bundle that
This is how they
needed to go through
react.
during the interrogation. This was the longest interrogation so far. It was over 2 hours because it was a over 60-page bundle. But on the day, they had printed another
Yes.
post. Now, of course, this is all social media posts, by the way, almost 99% X posts. This is just screenshots. And they had printed a post from the night before. They were adding to the bundle. It was even different paper that they said they printed that morning. And that was the post that was added in the 2 smear pieces in the Daily Mail and in LBC about me. So there is definite coordination there between intelligence, police,
Yep.
and the media to justify the state's actions. And the last aspect of this is the propaganda. You know, all of these media smears are quite literally just to make the public think that what the state is doing is justified, and unfortunately that's why
Yeah, you gotta
the
smear
lobby
them
has
to
made
make it-
sure that all
make the
my
shit look like it makes
Instagrams have
sense,
been
yeah.
suspended. They really want to ban X. They want to take me off from X because that's the one thing that people can realize.
A
that
lot of-
actually I'm not
a lot
some,
of people are on there,
Jew
yeah.
hater or
So they
extremist
can
person.
read-
I
they
think
can
this
read
is
what she
I'm
says on there.
facing at the moment, and I
Too many
do
people
think
can
it
read what
is
she
quite
says.
serious, and I think, you know, they've got me in their crosshairs. They don't want to let it go. And this is not me, by the way, being sort of cocky or thinking I'm anything special, but I think after 4 arrests, you have to be quite just realistic about the fact that you are, you know, an actual target here to the British
Yeah.
state and clearly to the Zionist lobby.
Yeah.
Does this person look like a violent, radical terrorist to you? You want to know why they are harassing this woman? Because she called out Jewish supremacy. The way that I do.
They called out genocide on her people.
Sisters, like this amazing comrade here. So the UK is under Jewish supremacist rule, and she highlighted that.
They're just white
She
supremacists.
highlighted the fact that there was doctors on the NHS who literally cheered on the death of Palestinians, but they didn't face any sort of
Like,
disciplinary.
I'm not even
action.
calling them
But she
Jewish
said-
because they're not Jewish. It's a stolen identity. They're not even religious. How are you gonna call a people who are not only are they not actually religious, the people who were running Israel, right? These Zionists, they're not religious. They hate Orthodox Jews, and they're not Semitic. So how are they Jewish in any way? I don't call them that. I call them what they really are. They're white supremacists. You know, feigning Jewish identity. So that's why he's calling them Jewish supremacy, because they claimed Jewish identity, but they're just white supremacists as far as I'm concerned. That's what they are. You ain't gonna find any Zionists who ever fought a Nazi ever, because they're the same thing.
A disciplinary action simply because she said the UK is ran by Jewish supremacy, which is undeniable that there's a massive Jewish supremacy threat in the West, in the same way that the left calls out white supremacy, which I spent my entire life.
That's what
calling
they
out
are.
white supremacy.
They're white supremacists.
Black Marxists spent our entire time calling out white supremacy. But you want to know what Brother Malcolm also did? You want to know what Brother Kwame Ture also did? They called out the scourge of Jewish supremacy.
Which is white supremacy.
And this idea that the left is
The
not allowed to
Jews
talk
that
about
he's
this
talking
is
about
madness.
are white people. They're not Jewish in faith, and they're not Semitic. There's no anti-Semitism when they're not even fucking Semitic. They're from Europe. They have no roots in any Semitic land. They don't speak the Semitic language. They're not from there. They're settler colonials. Late settler colonials. That's what they were talking about. Kwame Ture was just basically regurgitating what, Nasser was pretty much saying about the so-called Hebrews in Israel at the time. They're white people. They're not actually native Jewish people, or they're not the people who created the Jewish faith. And they're not Semitic. They don't practice the faith, and they're not Semitic.
3, 2, 1. All you need to do
We saw who the people were who were in Jerusalem before they ever got over there, or who were predominant before 1948 when they did Nakbas, and they were already killing people before the officially recognized Nakba in 1948. But that's just we're just going by what they officially recognize today instead of what they were actually doing. Yeah, I knew you were coming, bitch. Damn it. Fuck. I fucked myself. I forgot you can aim the kick now. That was one of the buffs Black Panther got. Not really a buff, but it's better than it was at the very least. Like this is my problem with I mean, it's not a real problem because he wants you to just like basically use nuance and realize what he's saying. But you know, I don't distinguish white supremacy from what these people are saying. It's no Jewish supremacy, it's white supremacy. These people are not actually religious or Semitic, so they don't earn the right to even be claiming to Jewish identity or supremacy in any way, much less, you know, anti-Semitism. They're white. They're white settler colonials. They never fought any Nazis, and Nazis never fought them. You can see no Nazi ever invade Israel, and you never see no fucking Zionists fight any damn Nazis. Because they are partners. They are white supremacists. They are white colonials. They've always been working with each other. The people in Israel had even Nazis help set up the fucking society over there. So that's just what they are. They're Nazis. They take whatever identity to justify their occupation of an area, you know, claiming to be like of, you know, Israelites or whatever, helps them legitimize their occupation of the area when they aren't actually, you know, Israelites are not even from there. And that's the main reason they claim that. But they're just white people who invaded. Anyway.
Because there's a scourge, and there's a lot of people like, man, I can't believe you're saying this kind of stuff, man. I was like, bro, I'm about to go through a purge right now. I'm about to purge all the fucking dipshit leftists who still obsessed with Jewish feelings, still accusing comrades of anti-Semitism, even though they know they're not. Like, they know I'm not anti-Semitic, but you have these.
They're not even Semitic, though.
Like, yo, you can't say Jewish supremacy, that's anti-Semitic. What do you call?
I call them white supremacists.
That have been radicalized to the point where they are sending death threats to mothers who just recently had children. Nurdine is a newish mother. I don't know exactly. I don't know her personal information like that, but I know for a fact she's a newish mother. Maybe a toddler, maybe. And she was receiving death threats from a coordinated Jewish terrorist organization, the Jewish Defense Force. The Jewish Defense Force is full of terrorists who arrive.
Yeah, they're not good at all.
And send death threats to Palestinians all the time. And Nurdine and activism, we have Palestinian panels. We talk about this. How the reason why I have to, in a way, outflank many Palestinian organizers, I gotta be like unapologetically supporting Hamas. While a lot of them, they gotta hold their tongue because they will get fucking murdered. They will be attacked. Palestinians all the time have to hold their tongue on them. Nurdine doesn't. Nurdine doesn't at all. That's why she's being targeted. But many Palestinians, that's why it's hard for me to have Palestinian roundtables. You guys see, I did a few Palestinian roundtables. It's so hard to do that, fam, because it's hard to get Palestinians on camera. You guys see the Palestinian roundtables I did? If you did it, search my library, you'll find them. The few Palestinian roundtables that I did, there were like multiple Palestinians that I was 100% okay with it.
Yeah, you get targeted by these terrorists when you try to do that. I think that's what he's talking about there, yeah. These sick fucks, these Zionists will like try to target and try to even attempt murder on you if you try to provide any voice to the Palestinian community. That's what he's talking about there. Which is fucked. But at the end of the day, they are just white supremacists. And the Zionist faith was created by a guy who was not even, it's not even a faith. The Zionist, you know, identity was created in the 1890s by a guy who wasn't even a religious person. So, like, I don't know how you can even call them Jewish. But, He created it to justify occupying Palestine. That's the only reason that fucking identity was created, to justify occupation of this land. Signed off on by, or to just, well, in the 1890s they didn't decide on Palestine being the land yet, but they were, the whole idea was to find a land for the Jewish people, or the people who want to claim Jewish identity. They weren't actually Jewish, but they want to claim the identity, of course. They're not, I mean, when you don't practice the faith and you're not Semitic, you're not Jewish. That's all I gotta say. You're not Hebrew, you know. Those Ethiopians they, sterilized when they got over there are more Jewish than they are. They're more Semitic than they are. I mean, their language is Semitic. They speak Amharic. Like, fucking, the creator of Zionism didn't speak any Semitic language when he created Zionism in the 1890s. So how could he even be called Semitic? Like the designation for Semitic is like not only just the region you're from, but also the language you speak. He didn't speak that language at all, and he's not even from there. He wasn't living in the Levant or anywhere near there. The creator of Zionism. He was in Europe. He's a European. He's a white guy. You go look at him. It's just a white guy with a big old Santa beard. Oh, this motherfucking Daredevil sucks an ass and a dick and a booty. Well, I said ass. Anyway. Like before, they were trying to settle in. Oh yeah. Before they settled on Palestine, they were thinking about like trying to do so in all these other African nations, like Madagascar, or that's pretty much an island off the coast of Africa. Nigeria, even Egypt was another choice. They wanted to just completely wipe out the people who were already in Egypt. I mean, the people, it was already settled, but they wanted to wipe them out and make that the land of where the Jews will live from now on. I think they also, wasn't it Zimbabwe at one point too? I think, or what became Zimbabwe, that area. They wanted to make Israel. There were so many different options they weren't settled on yet. Yeah, we lost already. Jesus Christ. Maybe I should switch. I'm kind of ready. I'm surprised I'm still doing as well as I am. I mean, out of everyone else anyway. It's not well, but proportionate to the rest of the team, it's okay.
War Summit, they was like this. They're like, bro, I can't be seen doing this. They would kill me?
Yeah.
And this is another example of the Jewish supremacy that the left has to become stronger on.
Alright. I'm gonna skip ahead.
I am so fucking tired.
I'm gonna skip ahead.
People who call completely exposed. Like, no one believes this shit no more. Just for the people down the X who don't know the background of this person. So they that have been on the page, anti-Semitic, all these liberal Democrats, oh, Nick, you can't say that, Nick. And this is his response to essentially my rant, because he responded to my tweet with essentially what I'm saying here. He said, Jewish supremacy is the easiest tell when someone's anti-Zionism is just anti-Semitism. The equivalent to the right using radical Islam a decade ago, not distinguishing between religion and extremist ideology, especially since the vast majority of Zionists are Christians. So before
the Christian Zionists are a problem.
The absolute ass whooping this guy received.
There's a lot. There's like actual Christians who think
these
every single Palestinian, who think that they worship people who claim Jewish identity, basically, like they're God. They literally do. These are the weird people. These are the weird Christians, man. Like, they're weirder than, I don't know, man. There's something wrong with them. But they just worship Jewish people like they're God, himself. Or people who claim to be Jewish. They're not really Jewish, but, you know, they claim co-opting the identity. Right. There was videos of these weirdos, man. They like try to indoctrinate their kids. You need to worship these people who call themselves Jews. They're better than you. They just are, guys. Like, they're a big part of the problem. They got people who are this weird tell you need to worship other people. That's already a big part of the problem. People like this should not be teaching children, for one thing. Oh, motherfucker, dude. They re-healed so quick, dude. I don't know. They might be hacking. I don't know. Because there's no way they're healing this quick. And they're dominating us this much now. They must have turned the hacks on. We were doing well in the first match. I don't know. And none of my teammates are like getting any scores or nothing. So they might have turned the hacks on. I don't know. I don't think it was GG because they might have been hacking. I don't know. Miss Goth. Yeah. Whatever. Miss Hack. It also, like, fucking Gambit's cheesy anyway. He's, like, still broken. They ain't fixed him yet.
Every single person who actually gives a fuck about calling out Zionism and Jewish supremacy was like, nigga, what you just say? Total retardation. So before I show you all the people who ratio this person, I'm gonna break down and destroy his arguments.
The ratio ain't go some tweet. I don't know.
So look at the first line here. What does this tell you? Because everyone know. By the way, if you don't know this account, they pretty well known on X for being a shit lib. This person was literally caught being paid by the DNC, because the DNC had to release the people that had been on the payroll. I forgot what it's officially called, but organizer memes was on there. You can look it up here. This person is paid by the DNC, so you have these people paid by the DNC to try to infiltrate the anti-Israel movement, the anti-genocide, anti-colonial movement, to accuse leftists of being anti-Semitic. So look at the first line and look at the tell that he has.
And their definition of anti-Semitic
Jewish supremacy
is criticizing the genocide in Palestine. That's it. Not for anything actually anti-Semitic. It's if you have a problem with the genocide on actual Semitic people. Those people are Semitic, all right? People in Palestine. That's an anti-Semitic thing going on there that Israel's doing. But we're not, you're not supposed to say that because you'll get accused of that over here.
Damn. Yeah, he was paid by. Yeah, he wanted them to use.
Yeah, the shit that they're doing to the Lebanese, that's pretty anti-Semitic. They're committing genocide on them right now. But Hezbollah is fighting back, so that's good.
Paid influencers, and for a very long time, a lot of people thought this person was like a leftist, and he was trying to sneak in some shit lib talking points. But now he's been completely exposed. Like no one believes this shit no more. Just for the people who don't X who don't know the background of this person. So they're telling the big names to avoid me, but the DNC, they're sending their ops after me. And I love to see that. Because they gave up on that a while ago. But my hotspots are starting to blow up on X. I get like 10,000 views on every single hotspot I read on Instagram. And it's on my Instagram, it's popping more than my YouTube. And I haven't done anything to really promote it. It's just my hotspot videos be going viral on there now. So now they send their DNC ops after me. So the fact that they says
Or villain.
it's
I'm not
the
judging.
easiest tell of when someone's anti-Zionism and just anti-Semitism. What do you mean the easiest tell? What are you implying here? You guys see how the implication of his line is that anti-Zionism inherently has secret anti-Semitism? So he said Jewish supremacy is the easiest tell. Like, what are you looking for? Why is the automatic assumption that people are part of the anti-Zionist movement is anti-Semitic? This is the Jewish supremacy brainwashing of the Democratic Party.
The problem is when you conflate, like that's an like that's already an anti-Semitic argument to like when you
30 seconds before you attack.
make Zionism a part of Jewish identity. That's just an anti-Semitic argument in the first place, right? Like Zionism is not Jewish identity. It is a white settler colonial identity created in Europe by a person who was not even practicing Judaism,
All you need to do is capture the mission area. Got it?
but wants to claim the identity to justify colonizing a land for himself and his family, his Nepo family, his white family. Oh, you fuck this. Oh, she's gone. Get out of here. Lames. They're all lame. Let's play more of that dumb shit. Sometimes he stays on a certain topic too long sometimes. Like we made the point about this already. Like he's still talking about this. My main concern is like we're dealing with imperialism at the end of the day. I'm not so much concerned with identity other than, the general concept of like imperialism, with typically a white imperialist endeavor to begin with, and the only reason Israel has any establishment in the first place is from the Anglosphere. They created it, and they're the ones who supply it. Israel can't do anything without their support. They're the ones who give them the weapons and they fund them. They give them all their stimulus. They give them all their weapons. Israel itself is, the Zionist state is not. It has no power on its own, so it doesn't concern me as much with so much as just the whole concept behind the imperialism and the material results. It's not like the U.S. who supports it, and the Anglosphere in general who supports Israel it's not like they're reluctant about supporting them. They want to do it. They chose to set them up in the first place. They get all the blame along with Israel. Like, I hate when people try to absolve like the other partners they try to absolve them too, or try to say they're less responsible. And it's just the West reluctantly doing what Israel wants, as opposed to just being evil enough to do that evil shit even without Israel's permission, because that's what the U.S. has been doing for years before Israel was even established. Man, they really did buff Blade though. This is a good buff, but not when they do that though. I don't like that. That kind of sucks. I'm doing all right though. I need to just back up from Loki, especially when he has the heal out. That heal shit is just, it doesn't add to my my life gain. Sadly. The normal clones do, but then when he starts to heal, they don't. Come back, bitch. Oh, fuck. They all teamed up together to hit me. You guys are pussies. Alright.
What the fuck does that have to do with the fact that Jewish supremacy is not real? This is the low IQ behavior that it would take to be a Democrat. Imagine thinking that this last line rebukes the concept of Jewish supremacy. So the fact that many Christians are Zionists is because they are infected by Jewish supremacy. And the amount of Christians who support Zionism does not erase the vast amount of institutional support that Jewish institutions provide to Israel. How does the existence of Christian Zionists erase the influences of Ben Gvir? How does that erase synagogues selling off
hello,
lands?
Ali Thompson.
You have to be a massive dipshit to believe
What
that.
game am I playing, Ali Thompson? Have you played this game?
So look at this fucking ratio, bro. Jesus Christ. If you're not on X, this is about as bad as it gets. Bro, imagine having almost 1 million views, less than 500 likes. Bro, and you have over 520 people replying.
Good evening,
if
though.
You're not on X, I'm explaining what that means. That means the vast majority of people who see your tweet is not liking it. A lot of them are commenting on it because they're here to tell you how fucking stupid you are. Dude, if you have a ratio this fucking bad, that is not a good
Alright,
thing.
I'm skipping ahead.
If you are a main character of Twitter at any point in time, that is not a good thing.
Skipping ahead.
Jewish supremacy, I am.
Okay.
So Mel explains how Israel's Jewish Power Party is about.
Oh, the name of this video is called Defining Jewish Supremacy. Okay. That's why he's still on this topic. I'm going to get him with somebody talking. Okay, there's somebody else on here talking with him.
Initiate regime change. No, they're
70% of Americans believe that this.
Oh,
Zoya's love Zoya's.
how are you guys doing today?
Can I was talking to Zoya, who's one of
Monday,
the
week's just getting
contributors on
started,
this
and
this
Nick's
channel.
already all passionate and on fire.
Okay.
Yeah, it's gonna be one of those views. I can't wait till our show with Rosbell on Wednesday. I think that's gonna be a good one. There's so much content for me to cover, but there's a few stories I'm gonna save for when I do my show with Rosbell on Wednesday. I still have one more segment I'm gonna do. I'm gonna prepare here really quickly. I'm gonna show you guys. I think it's gonna be another propaganda report. I'm gonna show you guys what it's being fed to
Fucking
the
Hulk.
American people. You gotta know that there was a poll, Zoya. I don't know if you saw it. There was a poll I just saw before I went live. It showed that 76% of the American people believe that the United States is winning the war against Iran.
Jeez, man, that's how brainwashed the U.S.
I might
is.
find it. I might try to see
That's
I
how
can dig it
brainwashed
out.
the U.S. is.
But if you guys wonder why I break down
If that's
the
real,
propaganda,
if
a lot of
that's
people in
that's the
chat
real number.
claim that people don't listen to it. Fam, that's not true, man. Like people are whether they know it or not, they're listening to these mainstream narratives. The fact that 70% of Americans believe that this war, that we win this war with Iran.
I've
not
also
winning,
read the
it's
same
war.
stats saying like 76% of the people are not in favor of this war.
So whether
On-
people in independent
On
media want to acknowledge
top
it or
of
not.
that,
That's why I catch a lot of people in independent media repeating their talking points and narratives. But anyway, while I take my break, I want to see if I
fuck.
can find that poll. I promise I'm not.
shit, almost got her.
Zoe, you want to take over for a bit?
Yeah, I guess the CIA having handlers in Hollywood is
Yeah.
really helping that propaganda.
Yeah, that's
And
been like that for a
account
while.
Called out Nick organizing memes is a proven DNC paid account. So
Yeah,
they're
I
there
know.
literally to promote Democrats. Gaddafi's Ghost, thank you for the $4.99. Thank you for everything you do. Oh, we love comments like that. It's you guys that help keep us going. Ad Boise, thank you for the $3 super sticker.
This is what I hate about live streams, the thanking of the fucking.
regime change. No.
I mean, I guess I understand it. That's how they fund their operation, but still, it's so annoying.
They're there for
This is why I would never be like a successful streamer. You know, this shit annoys
no
me.
matter who. They're going to be sending you text messages to support Gavin Newsom.
Fuck him.
Bryce Smith, Nick, 100%. Lore Shack, Not that the
Lorshak,
USA
like
had made
Rorschach?
Osama bin Laden a big guy in the first place to destroy the CCCP. Yeah, I
The
mean,
what?
there are literal newspapers with headlines talking about how they funded Osama bin Laden because he's the hero that's opposing the Soviet Union.
Oh yeah,
Also,
during
quick
the
reminder for
Soviet-Russia
everyone,
war.
if
I mean
you
the
haven't, please do
the
subscribe
the
to
Russia-Afghan war.
Patreon. The link is also in the description.
But Osama didn't even do the 9/11. That was he was just a
Metalnet.
scapegoat.
Zionist Christians openly say Jews are the chosen people of God. Yeah, the whole evangelical movement.
Yeah, I hate them
has
when they
gone
say
very cultish and
they're weird when they say that.
RKM 6863, you nailed it. Virtuoso 191, organizing grift. Oh, yes, indeed. Casey McCoy, good to see you. We got you. Lorshag, the cry
You're
back
weird, bro.
capitalism to vote Democrats industry.
Oh, fuck this.
Yeah, hard to believe people are still falling for it in 2026, but like Nick said, over 70% think we're winning in Iran. Kenneth Locke, 6926. The right still screams radical Islam. What the fuck is that freak talking about?
They're stupid.
Islamophobia
Right wingers are
was
stupid. I mean, what can we say?
the end of the Cold War. The villains in movies, if you guys notice,
Like Bernie.
they went from being Russian bad guys to.
This is why I say Bernie is also like a right winger,
caricatures of,
because he's on that same type of energy.
always manufacturing consent.
He manufactures consent for like
CTW.
radical Islam and shit,
I've
like
never
because
met
he's a
a
right
bad
winger
or rude Muslim.
at heart.
Yeah, they just
Shit.
want an excuse for imperialism. Kiriyama. Love Nick's passion from the heart. Outstanding, Nick Cruz. Thank you. Yeah, we all can use that. to
Okay,
get
I'm gonna
our,
skip this.
week going right.
I don't want to just
Beezus
listen to why. This is like another hour left. We can skip this part.
Bro, I got much to do to say that. I'm pissed. Who was caught by Iran. This is a rescue.
All right, I'm gonna get off of this because I already know what like the concept of Jewish supremacy is. I thought he was just gonna talk about Iran and what's going on there. I don't need like a lesson about that shit. We already know. I'm gonna listen to stuff about, you know, that the situation with Iran and the other things going on. You know, Cuba getting oil from Russia and China, which he did talk about a little bit. I thought he was gonna go a bit more into that. I mean, he did go a good amount, I guess. Well, yeah. Like the whole Zionism shit, it only exists because the West props it up. It's not powerful on its own. The white West is really what's responsible for that. You can't blame just some well, it's just the people who are like claiming Jewish identity is what I really mean. Who are Zionists. But I'm saying the people who, you know, aren't necessarily Jewish are also, they enable that. They support Zionism because they want to do so. Because it's another fellow settler colonial ideology. Bye Iron Dome. Okay, this is what I don't like about Hassan. He's like behind. The Iron Dome has never fucking worked since this war began, dude. What do you mean bye Iron Dome? You're making it he's making it look like Iran just now got through the Iron Dome with this title, or whoever edits his stupid videos. But he only edits. He really only edits the videos to conform to some shit that Hassan is saying. I mean, a lot of these clip sites or clip channels. I don't really want to watch Hassan though, because I've already listened to a bunch of Hassan whenever I do these streams, and I don't want to make it too much of a Hassan, replay or some dumb shit. Or we're only listening to Hassan. Okay. What else can I listen to? I'm still not tired, which is weird. I did drink some. Like I said, I drank a bunch of caffeine. So, I'm still awake because of that. Sabby Sabs is pretty good. She used to collab with Nick Cruz's channel. Well, no, Nick Cruz is kind of. I know something about Nick's channel is kind of. Something about it is kind of like off now. It used to be better. I don't know. He still makes some good points, but something's off about it now. That I can't. I don't know. I guess I'll click on this. One moment. This is still live? No, it's not live anymore.
Welcome, everyone.
It
Welcome.
was live, like, I guess, 13 hours ago. Okay, never mind. I'll be right back. Anyway, let's listen to this.
Welcome back to the show. It's your host, Danny.
This is Mr. Danny Haifong, who makes some good points sometimes. I think he's a bit, he doesn't challenge a lot of the guests he has on enough, which makes me think he might be a bit of an asset, but I don't know. There's still some truth that gets through in spite of that. So we're gonna listen to this right quick. until I get tired. Okay, this is just a random bullshit stream. I might do a real stream tomorrow. I don't know. We'll see.
As you can see, I am joined by.
But if I'm gonna do like a random bullshit, I'm just gonna talk about shit going on in the world while I play this. I play a game, I guess.
Former CIA analyst and geopolitical analyst and commentator.
Because this is what I'd be doing otherwise if I can't
Good to
sleep.
see you again.
So I might as well stream.
Yeah, you're back and better than ever. Well,
I don't know about that, but
So he has a guest on.
still on the right side of the grass.
What's this guy's name? His name is U.S. Larry Johnson. I forgot who this guy is.
well, let's get to it, Larry. I first wanted to get to covering what's happened overnight in Operation True Promise 4. Iran has been absolutely pounding Israel in conjunction with Hezbollah, and now Yemen.
That's one way to say
As
say it.
Interceptors are virtually either ineffective.
they're not
or
working.
Not firing at all.
They
I
don't
wanna
work.
Pull this up because there have been some very notable strikes, especially in the
It's an accident.
Ramat Hovav chemical complex near Dimona. Here, a Turkish journalist
Yeah.
was there, and he gave a report. I won't play it because it is entirely in that language. But here's a summary from BD Geopolitics.
Get an
this
AI
was a massive
translator.
close at
Those
the
things are
chemical
pretty
complex. Some are
handy.
speculating that there was also
I listen to a lot of
company
foreign
hit,
shit
that there are multiple
with an
sites
AI
in the Negev
translator.
area where this is located
That-
also hit. And then the
Pretty
big,
handy.
Also, news, Larry, is that Haifa was just smashed by an Iranian missile or multiple missiles, and that has caused stocks for
Fuck
this
Haifa.
oil in particular to go down 4%.
Hit it even more. Destroy it, actually.
I wanted to ask you about where you see the shape of this war now. Iran hitting the Dimona area seems like a pretty big message. The Negev area, this complex, but it's not.
Didn't they
just
already
this.
hit
Every
Dimona? I
single
thought they
day
hit it
now,
already.
we get reports that
You act like it's a new thing.
The entirety of the Gulf countries
That they're hitting it.
now, just in the hundreds left for the entire U.S. stockpile. Where are we in this war as the threats keep coming from the U.S. and the war continues, but these strikes seem to suggest it's not going very well. What's your thoughts?
It's not.
So let's say you have a territory that's 10 square miles, or let's give you 100 square miles. I have a territory that's 10,000 square miles. You're going to launch 20 missiles at me a day, and I'm going to launch 20 missiles at you a day. Who gets saturated first?
We know it's the smaller one.
Yeah, okay, good. Yeah. So we're all agreed. That's what's going to go on here. I'm not sure if Iran is 20 times the size of Israel or 30
They're
times
bigger
the
than
size of
Israel, that's for sure.
But it is a lot bigger than
Way
Israel.
bigger. Yeah, I've
Israel
seen
only
the
has two
size.
major cities, three
I've
major
compared.
cities, Jerusalem, Haifa, Tel Aviv. They've got other smaller places, but 55% of the population are in two of those cities. It's not like they've got a dozen power plants scattered around the country or a dozen oil refineries. So just from the standpoint of if each side keeps, delivering roughly about the same amount of firepower on the other,
I would say
smaller ones
Israel
will run
isn't,
out
though.
a lot sooner and not be able to continue.
Israel is not even hitting like.
That's what's going on. That's about as simple as I can put it. Israel.
They're not hitting like
It hurts Israel more.
real targets.
to
They're
take
hitting
out
civilians
one chemical
or targeting civilian areas.
than it does to take out
Israel,
one
anyway.
10 chemical factories.
Israel's doing that.
Iran's got more, let's call it strategic depth.
Yeah.
Now, I'm not saying that
They're not
Iran's
making a lot of
something,
strategic attacks, is what I mean by Israel.
but let's just be
Oh,
clear.
they did do some bullshit in Azerbaijan, I believe. Or Azerbaijan's assisting Israel
ability
with
this
some shit.
campaign is a lot less than Iran's. And then when you add in that, the literal ass kicking that Israel's getting from Hezbollah in southern Lebanon.
Yeah.
And you've already had one former Israeli chief of staff of the army and one current say,
We need to
say, "Hey,
recruit more
alarm-
people.
We got a 3-alarm fire here. We can't keep this up.
We need to recruit
We're
more.
running out."
That I
can't
remember.
sustain it.
I heard them talking about that.
So when your old military guys are blowing the whistle and raising the red flag, it lets you know you got trouble.
We need to force the
Trump has recently sounded the alarm that it's on the verge of collapse. In
we
the
need to
coming
recruit
weeks,
the
if all of this
pacifistic
continues.
Right.
I mean, in this
Orthodox
same,
Jews to fight
salvo, in the same,
fight the
wave
war.
of strikes by Iran, there was also
They're thinking about
reports
that, lowering the
Hezbollah
age
and
as well.
Were coordinating in various areas, the Tel Aviv area, northern Israel with Hezbollah, and then in the Dimona area and more south of Israel with Yemen. I mean, there was even reports that Yemen used the Palestine 2 hypersonic missile, which is an incredibly impressive weapon, which travels incredibly long distance in just about 15 minutes to hit Israel.
Well,
What's your thoughts?
The key is, a lot of stuff gets labeled hypersonic, and it's not. A true hypersonic missile is one that travels in excess of Mach 6 and this is the key part, can be maneuvered while in flight. In other words, can fire additional engines and such to change its direction. Let me just give a plug to Alistair Crook and his wife Ashley.
But Iran has hypersonic missiles though, so whatever, it doesn't matter. They have them.
The Hebrew language press in Israel,
Whatever you want to classify hypersonic, they have those. They have the Mach 6 too.
as opposed to the English side. And in her latest piece, she wrote, quoting from one of the articles, former Israeli Defense Force Ombudsman General Yitzhak Brick said, quote, what awaits Israel in the next round of the war.
And then they have Russia and China helping them. They can give them hypersonic missiles too. They have them.
The Israeli army,
if they don't have enough or more.
The IDF is collapsing. Now, those are not outside critics. Those are men who either headed up the army, they played a very senior role, or the current guy who's saying, "Look, this is dangerous. We can't keep this up."
Yeah.
And the sign of that is coming out of Lebanon. In fact, here's what the chief of staff told.
And Yemen's getting involved too. Not even just Hezbollah. The Houthis are getting involved.
I'm raising 10 red flags to you.
So yeah.
The IDF now needs a conscription law, a reserve law,
yeah, that's what I heard.
Law.
I heard about that.
In a short time, the IDF will not be ready for its routine.
Damn it,
missions,
motherfucker!
And the reserve system will not last. Now, just in the last week, I forget which day it was. It may have been last Friday or Saturday. Hezbollah hit a column of Merkava tanks. Those are the big bad boys.
Yeah.
From the Israeli army.
They got 100 of them.
Knocked out 21 of them in one day.
Now they've gotten 100 of them.
On another day, I've consistently heard from multiple sources that since Israel started this offensive into southern Lebanon, more than 100 tanks.
Yeah, that's what I heard.
Have been destroyed or rendered inert by Hezbollah. And if you're blowing up a tank,
they only have like they only have like 1,200 of them.
Wounds, or
they don't have a lot of them. So taking out 100 of those tanks is a big deal because they don't have that many of them. So they're running out of supply quick. All right, they're steadily destroying them. They're over 100 at this point. But that was the last time that was the last count. The last time I was looking at it. So yeah, they're not gonna have tanks. Pretty soon they're gonna be out of tanks. By the eye of Miyamoto. Bitch, get off me, hoe. Ah, she's doing her. I gotta do it. Damn it, they won't let me when I'm under her thrall. I was gonna do my ultimate. She would have died if I did it. But they won't let me if I'm under the thrall. It's fine. We're just gonna switch to the tried and true. Also, let me play more of this while I do this.
Been deaf. So Israel has got itself. They've been unable to defeat Hamas.
Yep.
Hamas is still intact, and Israel, despite having, every conceivable military advantage in terms of numbers and quality of weapons and types of weapon systems, has been unable to defeat Hamas. And then they're now caught into another battle. It's worse than what happened in 2006. In 2006, they lost. They were forced to retreat. Now they're suffering even greater losses against Hezbollah. And then they've started this war with Iran. And as we've seen in recent report, I think it was out of the Financial Times.
They're terrible here.
80% of the Iranian missiles are getting through. The Israeli, much the ballyhooed air defense system is crap. Iron Dome
It is.
is cracked,
It's crap.
as is David Sling. They're getting beaten.
The THAAD
Yeah.
interceptors
And
are
Larry,
crap
what
too.
effect is this having in the war in particular on the Israeli side, but maybe the entire war effort as well? Because it is difficult to get good images. There's been a lot of
Well, Israel is
surveillance
censoring.
of these censorship.
But
of
people have gotten it
images,
out. There's
but every
people
single day this is
posting
happening.
shit
As you
still
said, now
from
it's,
Israel
8
'cause
to
they're-
10 of these strikes
they
are
really want
coming
people to
in.
know
That,
how badly they're
Iran
living,
reports that there
'cause
are
they're
millions of
depressed.
Israelis going into shelters every single day. What impact is this actually having, especially given that Iran is getting more targeted and escalating escalating what they're striking? Literally, I don't know. Nobody knows exactly where where Israel's nuclear weapons are, but they're hitting the area where.
I'm
many
pretty
of
sure
Israel's
Iran
and
knows.
that's a big deal.
Yeah, karma is a terrible thing, and Israel bought itself some bad karma by killing all the children that is killed in Gaza.
Yeah,
and then by
that's for
starting
sure.
this war of aggression. The same kind of thing.
That's
that
an
they did in
understatement.
Poland is starting a war of aggression against the people of Iran, and now Iran is able to basically hit any target at once in Israel with little chance of it being stopped.
Yep.
And so
I said that would
we get
happen.
used to. Let's not underestimate the ability.
Even
of
I
people
said
to
this.
endure
It's
suffering.
not. It wasn't hard to figure out.
From I'll just draw the parallel with the siege of the city of Vicksburg during the American Civil War. There, you took a lot of these refined, high-class Southern ladies, and they were living in caves dug into the side of the Mississippi riverbank.
Fuck
and
'em.
Enduring
No.
months of shelling and attacks, and they stuck it out. So you can't dismiss that the Israelis are going to try to tough it out, but Israel.
I've seen they're toughing it out. They were sexually assaulting women in there.
Not going to attract more.
I don't think that's very,
immigrants from all over the country,
because admirable.
of, the nature of the war, and then on top of it, just the government of Netanyahu is so clumsy, so stupid. When they shut down, it's one thing to anger the Muslims. We already know that they hate them, but then they did the same to the Christians, shutting access to the Church of the Holy Sepulchre during Holy Week. From
Ramadan,
Sunday, which was yesterday, forward to Easter Sunday upcoming, and so now they've got the Vatican mad at them, and Italy mad at them, Catholics mad at them. Israel is writing the opposite book. The one that was it Dale Carnegie wrote, How to Win Friends and Influence People. Israel's doing how to lose friends and have no influence with anybody.
Yeah, and Larry, I wanted to now ask you about the other side of the strikes that Iran is conducting in retaliation to the U.S. and Israeli war of aggression. Now this is on the Gulf side. Donald Trump said that he wants Gulf countries to pay for the U.S. war effort. He just said this, but it seems like it's going to be the Gulf that's going to need help paying for the aftermath of what's been happening. According to Iranian sources, it says precision missiles just in the last, as we speak, have hit the UAE, a U.S. command and control site. The U.S. Fifth Fleet is struck by drones. And of course, Israel continues to get hit in various areas. An Israeli-owned container ship was just hit as well. But, the Gulf has been getting a beating. And, I can pull up the interceptor numbers now as you comment, Larry, but it's bad. 2,400 interceptors fired in just a month. Supposedly in the Gulf countries.
Yeah, you got to and stop and ask the question: what are they firing?
Oh, she can grab the fucking Fox.
Because
fucking Emma Frost can do that.
To start, at the end of 2025, the total number of PAC-3 missiles that had been produced for the Patriot 3 was 4,620 maximum. Well, they used up a good number of those, in at least 1,000 in Ukraine,
Jesus.
and then another 1,000 at least, 1,500 last June during the 12-day war. So right off the bat, the United States entered this war with only, let's say, 2,400 of PAC-3 missiles, and those are capable of shooting down 1,200 missiles. So what are they launching?
Damn it.
What I'm suggesting to you,
I shouldn't have came out
is
of
there's
that
a line
fucking
going on here.
hideout.
Yeah.
They are gaslighting.
Yeah, and that's and gaslighting. This is from Bloomberg.
I
shared
talked
by
over
DDJ
him.
Politics. Talk the Gulf countries.
Yeah, you got to and stop and ask the question: what are they firing?
Yeah.
Because
What are they-
because there were only at the start, at the end of 2025, the total number of PAC-3 missiles that had been produced for the Patriot 3 was 4,620 maximum. Well, they used up a good number of those, in at least 1,000.
Yeah.
In Ukraine, and then
Yeah, they don't have any radar to even target anything, so yeah.
1,500 last June during the 12-day
So,
war.
yeah.
So right off the bat, the United States entered this war with only, let's say, 2,400 of PAC-3 missiles, and those are capable of shooting down 1,200 missiles. So what are they launching? What I'm suggesting to you is there's some lying going on here.
Yeah.
They are
The U.S. is lying like a motherfucker.
Yeah, and that's and gaslighting. This is from Bloomberg, shared by DD Geopolitics, talking about these numbers that are being just officially reported. 2,400 used, 2,800 total in the stockpile. I mean, that's bad in and of itself, Larry. I mean, that's bad in and of itself. And I'm curious, even at just those numbers, how long can this go on? Because Israel in the UAE, the Gulf countries, they seem to be, I see the videos, Larry, they seem to be using these in high numbers every single day. I mean, a dozen here, 20 there. You just see it in one video. There's 6, 10, 11. So how long can this actually go on? What happens then? It seems like the Trump administration, Israel, they're not
My
concerned
Fox one.
about it, at least in the public-facing PR image.
Well, they won't have. I would argue right now they've exhausted. They're out. There are no more Patriot PAC-3 missiles to shoot. So they're probably dipping into old stocks, the PAC-2. I think they may even have a PAC-1. But those, all those do is make a nice, pretty sight in the sky as they shoot forward, lighting up the sky. But they're not necessarily going to be effective at intercepting. And Ted Polska has maintained all along that the number of people, the number of interceptions that have been claimed in previous wars or previous attacks like this have been grossly exaggerated. So, the reality is none of the Gulf countries have an effective air defense anymore. And Iran can hit them at will with what it wants, and is doing so. One of the Iranian spokesmen said the other day, in response to Trump's claim that he said that if Iran doesn't open the Strait of Hormuz, U.S. forces will target Iranian power plants. Well, he said the Strait is only restricted to hostile traffic, and it remains under Iran's control. Safe passage continues under strict rules, but he says if the U.S. strikes Iranian power plants, Iran's going to fully close the Strait of Hormuz and damage facilities are rebuilt. It'll target all Israeli energy, ICT, and infrastructure assets. It will destroy regional companies with U.S. shareholders, and it'll target power plants in countries hosting U.S. bases. And that's exactly what it's doing.
Yep.
After the power plants were hit in Iran. So, Iran hasn't, they're not playing around, and they're not making, like Trump, making idle threats. They do what they say. If you're going to bomb our desalinization plant, we're taking yours out. They took one out in Kuwait yesterday. 35% of the country's fresh water comes out of that plant. No longer. So, I think it's a race to see which country in the Gulf collapses first, disappears. Will it be the United Arab Emirates, or will it be Bahrain? Right now, my bet would be on Bahrain, simply because it is smaller. It's one
Yeah.
that has abandoned the country, and they have.
Oh,
the largest
yeah.
contingent
Well, that
of
makes a lot of
Shia
sense.
Muslims there. But Dubai is not far behind. The United Arab Emirates doesn't really have a viable path forward to continue to exist as a country.
Yeah, and yet, Larry, again, there's all, I guess let's divide into two. Israel and the Gulf countries, they keep pressing forward. I mean, despite the alarm bells being sounded by the chief of staff himself in Israel, despite the massive damage, I'm hearing tens of billions of dollars already across the Gulf in infrastructure. Despite this, countries like the UAE, Saudi Arabia, they're all saying push forward and be sure that Iran can never do this again. And that's what they're supposedly telling the United States. I see it as they're more of getting told to say that by the United States. But I'm curious on what your thoughts about this is, because unlike the 12-day war, it seems like they keep going down further and further up the escalation ladder, regardless of the pain that they are experiencing.
So let's be clear about what kind of societies we're talking about. Let's start with the United Arab Emirates. They've got these massive skyscraper buildings, some of the tallest in the world. They're very elaborately designed, seemingly modern. Yet every morning, trucks have to pull into the basements of those buildings and fill up with human shit because they don't have a sewer system. Okay? Think about this. This highly modern, very supposedly modern, very advanced country has got a sewage system that rivals that of India's, where
Damn.
a car will come down the road every day and people will pile their feces into the back. That's not a serious country. And the United Arab Emirates right now is without 83% of its income. Income that came in from export of oil, the trade with the Freeport, Jebel Ali, tourism.
Their efforts in Sudan have been paused too,
Construction industry,
which is also hurting their money, which is good because fuck their genocidal efforts in Sudan.
So, and as a consequence, Iran has been joking about it, saying that, well, they've at least eliminated prostitution from one of the major Gulf Arab countries, because once the blockade was on and the very wealthy started getting the hell out of there, all the hookers said, well, no more money to be made.
Yeah, UAE has a lot of hookers.
Where a lot of them are from.
Oh yeah, that's been popular for hookers for a while. Ukraine
is right now is like an angry little chihuahua, toothless, loud, vicious, but doesn't have much of a bite. And 6 weeks ago, it was prepared to go to war with Saudi Arabia. Now, the Saudis are crying on each other's shoulders about big bad Iran, and they shouldn't have picked the fight. In fact, Saudi Arabia had pledged it wasn't going to allow the U.S. to use this territory, and they did exactly that.
Yeah, not anymore though. Not anymore. You've seen what Saudi Arabia's been saying lately. They're not on friendly terms with the U.S., especially after Donnie kind of shit on the leader of Saudi Arabia. They're not really it doesn't seem like they want to collab with the U.S. further, or hold water for the U.S. any further, or Israel any further.
None of these countries,
but we'll see what happens.
Have an organic political base. They're all
puppets.
From one tribe that happened to dominate the other tribes.
Well, actually, no. It's not about dominating tribes. It's about who the West propped up. Most of those countries are countries that were colonized by the West or were assisted by the West. Like the Al Saud family in Saudi Arabia it only has the position that they do because of Britain. Right? Britain put those dudes in power. And that's why there's still the big dogs in Saudi Arabia. Right? Most of them are puppet states. You know, some of them have kind of like diverged from what the West has wanted. Like Saudi Arabia, they've been doing that a bit more. I think it's part of the fact that they joined BRICS, so they've been going more in a different direction. But still, though, there's some backsliding going on, so you can't completely trust Saudi Arabia because some fuck shit that's still going on, even with this Iran thing going on. But they were, for a while there, seemed like they were having a reversal and doing good shit. Like they were fighting the UAE for a bit. They stopped the Yemen war they were having. Thanks to China. China helped stop that effort, and with Saudi Arabia also being a BRICS member, that probably helped. That probably convinced them, But yeah, Saudi Arabia is not trustworthy. Most of those Gulf states are just puppet states. Iran was the only one that's like, autonomous, and that's why that was the last one on the list to conquer. Libya was autonomous until it got conquered. Syria was a bit autonomous too until it got conquered recently. That was the last one that got conquered by the West, and Israel's occupying parts of Syria now. But Iran is the last bastion that they're trying to topple again, because they did succeed in invading Iran back in the 50s and replacing it with a puppet. But then there was a revolution in the 70s, and they got rid of the puppet. But they're trying to get that back, get that going again. But anyway, I gotta go. It is late now. I think I will leave. And I don't know, I'll probably stream tomorrow. Maybe a real stream. But I'll probably still talk about real world things. We'll see. Excuse me. But I'll have like a focused game that I'll also have. I've been talking so much that my throat is dry. Anyway, good night.